Right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Caliber Corner episode number 77. Man, we've already got a lively crowd on the gun channel side as well as the YouTube side. So let's just go ahead and check in real quick and see who's joining us this morning. We have got Paper Plane Crash over there on the gun channel side. We've also got Tony hanging out over there, having a little chat. And Tony's going to be with us today, too. He'll be back in just a minute. Joining us on the YouTube side, we've got the Poor Conservative. We've got SS Pond. We have tacos and French fries always. Midnight Range TM in the house. Scott P79's out there getting ready for the big Planet Hoth blizzard that's coming their way. And then there's me. So I'm sure we're going to have more people joining us. It seems to be a little bit of a slow morning for people, and that's perfectly okay. So let's go ahead and get started here. And why don't we let the panel introduce themselves real quick, and Tony should be back by the time that we kick off. My icons are really big on the screen. Can you guys actually see me, Squib, AWAG? Is there anything blocking my face or not?
I can see you.
It's because they got the screen shrunk down. So I want to make sure you can actually, make sure it's not AWAG's emoji right in front of my face. So, all right. So anyway, AWAG, why don't you go ahead and kick it off? What's going on? What's new in your world, man? How you doing?
Thank you for the invite.
First off. Thanks for being here, man. Always.
What's coming to the channel is hopefully some P226 shooting action, a little bit of airsoft gunplay. I'm going to actually review the footage that I got last night.
Okay.
So I know airsoft and firearms don't really mix, but it's to break up the firearms stuff on my channel.
You know, a lot of people do paintball and airsoft is just kind of a fun way to just go run around the woods and shoot people with airsoft guns. I mean, you can do some team tactics and some capture the flag and stuff like that. I can see how it could kind of be fun. So, if one comes to your channel, what can they expect, AWAG? What are they going to find when they head over to your channel?
You'll probably find various amounts of firearm stuff, a little bit of ranting here and there, and maybe a meme here or two.
Okay.
So definitely check out my channel if you're interested in any of those, especially firearms, because I tend to do like sort of the obscure firearms shooting. I haven't got much footage of like the actual shooting because I just now got a range membership a few months ago. So there's definitely like reloading videos. There's definitely shooting things out to 300 that really shouldn't be shot out to 300, i.e. 22 long rifle, and a host of various other things. So I try to liven up my videos a little bit because if you're around my age, there was a television show on Cartoon Network called Ed, Edd n Eddy, and they always had like crazy sound effects in that show. Yeah. So I have like a whole list of just the straight audio files from that show. So I kind of liven up my videos a little bit by throwing those sound effects in here and there.
Now, just a simple statement on the airsoft thing. You know, back in my day, we didn't have that airsoft crap. We shot at each other with pellet guns.
They're saying BB. They're talking about BB gun wars as children in the chat. I've never had a BB gun war with my friends. Single pump BB gun wars. Oh my god.
I haven't.
Oh yeah.
I have an uncle who's got a BB just above the.
Poor guy sets off metal detectors, huh?
Eyebrow line right in the middle of his forehead where I shot him.
Tony, the face was always off limits, but every now and then there was a oops.
Yeah. Well, you kind of lob them, and if you're doing a shot at a distance, you got to just calculate that trajectory just right, you know.
We would kind of aim for the legs. That way you had a little bit of room there to, you know, if it went a little high, you'd still only hit them in the torso. But
you didn't play this in shorts and t-shirts, did you?
Honestly.
Okay. I would not want to experience that. Yeah.
Honestly, I just stuck the gun out from behind the tree in his general direction, pulled the trigger. It was just a fluke that I hit him.
Man, they're already talking about all these memories of BB gun wars as children out there in the chat. This is awesome. Budget Guns and Gear, man, he is straight up. I'm calling him 100% savage right there. He said, my little brother still bears a scar between his eyes where I sniped him from a tree. Poor Conservative says, it's all fun until somebody brings a Crossman 760. Is that 10 pump? Is that the 10 pump pellet gun? You could shoot a BB or a pellet through it. It was the
That's
pump
what
rifle.
I used.
Or is it the handgun, like the pistol style that's got the pump in the front, like the Benjamin ones and stuff? Oh my God! So yeah,
my uncle was using the 760, and then I was using the. Oh geez, it's the next one up. from that.
Okay, okay.
Pretty
Like
one.
a 1020 or something like that. Is that? I know what you're talking. What was it? 1000? Because we had a collection of BB guns and pellet guns as kids. I'll tell you what. Alex says parents had one rule for them: you had to have snow goggles on if you're going to do BB gun shooting. Oh man. So anyway, we'll continue letting everybody introduce themselves. So AWAG, thanks for joining us. All right, David Bowling, the original Kingpin Hustler's with us this morning. David, what's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody today?
Man, we're doing okay. So did you guys get smacked with snow out in your neck of the woods? Because everybody's talking in the Midwest that they just got buried. We got ice, and then it developed as it went east. Did you guys get dumped on last night?
No, not last night. We got a little bit of snow a couple days ago, and we're supposed to get more today. But
it's kind of that eastern part of the U.S. that not necessarily the coast that caught it. From what everybody keeps saying in the chat, Ohio got smacked. I think eastern part of Nebraska got wailed on pretty good. They had to close down our airport.
yeah, they're calling for it to come in around 12. But that's the same thing they did last weekend, and it never snowed at all.
Well, you know, weathermen, they like to create. I mean, I know they do it because it's their job and they're trying to keep people safe, but they create a lot of hype. I think that gets people coming back for, you know, the constant updates, and you just feel addicted to, you know, to watch it. So let's talk about the channel real quick. What's new and what's upcoming on your channel?
I'm going to continue the Firearms Inventors Playing Card Deck series. I'll have another one coming out before the end of January. And I've got an AR review coming up.
All right.
And I don't know. That's about it for right now.
I don't know if you saw that, but Ruger's got they call it an optics ready 5.56 now that they came out with. That's got the standard high gas block on the front without the A2 front sight. Does yours have the fixed front A2 on it, or its own A2 front sight, or does it have it does?
Yeah, it's had the fixed sight at the front.
They're going to make it with the standard gas block height on the front of the barrel, so you don't have to get a special, like when you have the DPMS Oracles, they have a low profile front gas block where it's a pain in the butt because you got to get a special flip up sight for it to actually be in alignment with the rear sight. But I don't know what the price was going to be on it. They announced it not too long ago for SHOT Show. Not a big deal, but it's kind of cool, and they offer another model line where you got that flexibility. Say you just want to put a nice scope on there, or just run some flip up, you know, backup sights and a nice optic. So
yeah, I subscribe to a bunch of the Ruger stuff, and I didn't see that one, but they did put out a new YouTube video a couple days ago.
Okay.
And I tried to email you the link, but for whatever reason it didn't work.
Okay. Yeah, I've been doing lots of these little update videos. I do them. I do them every year. I'm on my third set now where I talk about the new guns coming up at SHOT, and we're actually going to make a reference to the article that I went to because there's more stuff they added last night. So there's actually even more guns now that are going to. I love this. What they're just kind of spoon feeding us right now before SHOT Show. There's a lot of just cool stuff that's going to start coming out. And well, let's talk about the topics real quick. We were going to talk about 2019 industry letdown. Because when I posted my original part 1 video, the SHOT Show 2019 preview, I'm not kidding you, 80-90% of the comments, and you can fact check me on this, where people said there is nothing at all that interests them. I did 15 minutes of me talking about all new models, well, tweaked models or different models in the lineup, and people are just not enthused. But then I don't know if it's because we're getting closer to SHOT now, they're getting excited. I did parts 2, 3, and 4. Like the comments were kind of changing. People were finding some stuff they kind of like. But is the firearms industry dead in terms of innovation? So we'll have a debate on that. We're also going to talk about striker versus hammer fired. And then there was an announcement 5 days ago that Hi Point's developing an all new original high capacity pistol. We don't know the caliber, but we'll talk about the details we have on that. And then also the Taurus, or Taurus, I call it Taurus, TX22. I'm pretty excited about that. But let's continue with the introductions. Squib, what's new in your world, man? How you doing?
Doing all right. My wife is over there laughing at me.
Is she listening to the show right now?
Yeah, I'm letting her just experience my world. Let her see the abuse I get, I guess.
The abuse from who? From us
I
to
don't
you?
know.
Or from you?
Maybe it's the other way around. It's the abuse I give.
As a married man, sometimes they just look at you and laugh, and you don't know why. I mean, my students do that to me on a regular basis.
She's laughing
I just accept
more.
it. It's just something that they do, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we can't understand. We
mirror?
What's that?
You don't own a mirror?
Yeah, but I never look in it.
You have like a bedhead going on this morning. You got a booger. What? Don't know.
That's what it could be.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse me. I gotta go check, I guess.
I mean, you haven't even said anything, and she's laughing at you. That's the scary part. So, I don't know. You might need to get yourself checked out there, Squib. So, Squib, what can we check? What can we expect to see if we watch your channel? What's going on out there, man?
Not much.
Not much. Okay.
No, I've a couple of videos recently. I pulled out of the computer there some stuff I shot months ago, and I'm finally getting around to editing it. One video I shot 2 versions of it. I don't like either one, so I'm going to redo it. Another one, the video's a little bit wobbly and the pictures aren't quite in focus, and I'm thinking about just cobbling it together and editing the best I can and just calling it. But
yeah,
I've got some other projects that I've either created a folder for as a reminder for me to start filming and doing whatever, and other ones are I just dump the raw footage in there and I just have to get it out and edit it. So I'm working on a few things. It's not all gun related. I mean, my last video I think was about tasty cake, so whatever.
I need to watch that. I didn't realize you did one tasty cakes. Maybe
I've got another one that's in the queue. All I got to do is hit publish.
Oh,
so
I need a spoiler. Did you get to eat one of those Boston cream pie tasty cake desserts or what? Did you get one of those?
So I did one video on that. I've got another one on another kind of tasty cake. So
they're on the high end of the inexpensive snack cake market. I mean, they are up there. What I had from them destroys anything the Hostess could even compare to. I'm just going to say it right now. Shots fired. Tasty cake is superior to Hostess.
I thought tasty cake was okay. Wrong. I just didn't think it was as good as you guys made it sound. It's like, I mean, I'll go back to Pennsylvania and get another box of them. So
when I ate my Boston cream pie tasty cake, it was before dinner. I was really hungry, so I ate it. I was just like, oh my god, this is so good, and it kind of has like a Boston cream pie flavor to it. But man, they're just even their fruit pies. Oh my god, their chocolate fruit pie. Holy crap, man, that's like a whole different level of cheap snack goodness right there.
There you go. See, you give me inspiration for another video. When I go back to Pennsylvania,
take a bite of the Hostess and then spit it out, and then take a bite of the tasty cake chocolate cream pie. I can't even explain it. It's so good. It's so good. I think I need to do an unboxing.
All right. So maybe in about another month or two, there'll be a tasty cake fruit pie or chocolate pie video. Yeah. I don't know.
The unboxing and consumption video, range test, tasty cake chocolate pie.
Yeah, because now my plan is to go to the outdoor show next month. That's why my truck's in the shop right now. Is I'm having them do a inspection on it. I want to make sure it's roadworthy.
For God's sake, don't buy a bass boat or an RV. They are endless money pits, dude.
No, I mean, I'm old enough for an RV, but we don't want one, and I'm not. Even though I'm surrounded by lakes, I don't fish. I'm not against fishing, but I just don't fish.
But you better not be.
Fishing.
All right, man. So, hey, let's continue with the introductions. Now that we've stolen the spotlight from Tony, who's just been sitting there patiently waiting since he got here this morning at about 7:30. Tony, what's new, bro? How you doing, bro?
I'm fine, man, and there's nothing new except for a couple inches of snow.
That's what you had 2 weeks ago when you were with us, too, right? Well, last week, you were with us last week, weren't you?
No? Okay,
I was not in my regular location. I was not in the man cave. I had a furniture to bring home.
I was last week.
You were there. And guys, I am sorry for having to do that, but I had 9 hours of driving it was 3 hours there, 3 hours back, and then 3 hours home again within one day. And I just had to get going. I did not want to cut off at an hour, but my stepdad was ready to go. The furniture was all loaded up. We had to go. They wanted an obscene amount of money to deliver our furniture order. And so we were able to do it for about $50 worth of gas to get it home from where we picked up the vehicle. And I couldn't justify over $400 for delivery fees. So anyway, enough of my problem. So Tony, content, let's talk here. Any chance we can get some early watch going on?
I do not know.
Okay.
I haven't got a firm date on my daughter leaving. I'm going to start it when I go over there because she's got legit internet where I don't.
Okay. And you just go to like McDonald's parking lot or something, just sit out there and eat some McGriddles and just go live,
That crap doesn't work with it diddly either.
Yeah, sometimes. And sometimes you got to be inside the building to get a decent reception anyway, so. All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead on the topics here because I'm pretty excited about this. So let me just go right into a screen share, and I will try my best to not shut the chat down as I usually do when I do screen shares. The brand new Taurus pistol was announced yesterday at 7:30 in the morning. Bunch of websites are dropping information on it. Gizzard Gary was the first person that told me about it, so I'm giving Gizzard Gary the credit for this. The Taurus TX22 We are looking at an MSRP of $349, and obviously the media that they put out there, the videos they put out on it, they really make it look like it's the next greatest thing. A lot of I've read some of the pre-production reviews on it online. There are some editors that have talked about what it was like shooting this thing. No problems at all. No feeding issues. That's going to be the big one. It has a lot of design cues that are very different from a traditional kind of rimfire pistol. It's going to be semi-automatic. If you look at the design, if you look at the picture I've got posted here for you guys, the safety is actually the cover that's on the metal plate that's behind the trigger. So it's a little bit different how they design that. It is going to be a traditional, what do we call it, like a Browning style barrel? What would you actually call it? Where the barrel does unhinge to eject. It does tilt, like a locking lug style barrel. It's not going to be a blowback design. It has a captured guide rod and spring. It's going to have it's got an end cap on the barrel that you can unscrew, and you can screw on a threaded adapter for it, so you can put a suppressor on it. From the photos I have, it looks like it's got the traditional G2C sights on the back, which are not exciting, but they are adjustable for windage and elevation. I'm guessing you could probably pick this up for under $300. 17 round capacity, 16 plus 1. It is anodized aluminum slide. I don't know. What's your take on it, guys? Would you ever consider buying something like this? I'm going to. I'm excited for it, and it does have an ambidextrous safety. It says manual safety on certain models. So I'm curious if they're going to make a version without a safety, because they've already taken off the little key lock safety system. What are your thoughts on this, guys? What do you think?
Well, I think you need a moment alone with it.
I'm excited, dude. Tony, part of it is it's going to be a nice kind of higher capacity 22 pistol that's not going to be, $400 or $350. It is American made. Got a Picatinny rail on there. Thoughts? What do you guys think?
I like the higher capacity of 22. I mean, I really think it's stupid that all these guns come out with 10 rounds.
10. Yeah, and part of it is a lot of these 22s are made by Umarex or they're made by GSG in Germany. So I don't know if that's just kind of their standard. That's what they do to make it maybe more 50 state legal or something. I don't understand.
I think that's just it. What they do is instead of making multiple parts, they just one size fits all. There's pluses and minuses of that. In one sense, you don't have to stock as many parts. You don't have as much in your inventory. You don't have, as much in your catalog, and you can streamline it that way. On the other side, if you've got a standard capacity and a low capacity version, you can mark up that low capacity version or the other way around, and you could make more money that way and sell more magazines. So it really depends on what their business model is, I think, is why they go with a one size fits all approach.
Well, even throughout my history as a gun owner, the Brownings, the Rugers, I can't think of the others that I've owned. Have all been 10 round limit.
I just want to say something just to answer Sketchy's comment. He says, I see no end cap. It doesn't have anything protruding off the barrel in its basic out of the box form. There is a flush fitting cap that you unscrew, and then there's going to be a very thin sleeve that's going to screw onto the threads of the barrel that's going to protrude out of the end of the barrel, and that's going to give you the threads for the suppressor. So instead of having a barrel that sticks out, and maybe they also did that for more of a 50-state compatibility, because they're going to make a 10-round version of it also for less free states, that maybe without having that threaded barrel on the end, it's going to help them with 50-state compatibility for selling it. But it does have a little cap that unscrews on the end that's flush with the slide, and then you put the adapter on it, and it's going to give you those extra threads that you need to function. So, yeah.
On the firearms manufacturer end, it's got to be a pain to make multiple versions just for compliance purposes. Yeah. But from the consumer end, all they're going to do is transfer the extra cost to us. So it doesn't really, I don't know. I guess they're really not motivated to take their big industrial, and I don't just mean Taurus, I mean all the big gun companies. They don't take their big industrial bank accounts and try to fight to get rid of some of these BS laws so that they don't have to make these compliant, because at the end of the day, they go, customer will pay it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, and plus, you're going to be balancing inventory of having some guns with the threaded barrel, some guns without, some guns with the 10 rounds, some guns with a 16 or 17. Although they're going to be doing they're going to be offering both models, more compliant models for certain states. Interesting enough, it's going to be striker fired, and it's going to be a double action. Well, okay, it's going to be a single action pull, kind of like a Glock, but it is going to function on the double action level, which is kind of nice. They said that the trigger feels fairly crisp. So I'm just excited for it. It's neat whenever anything brand new gets announced, and then especially something like that. I've already got a person in mind that could use something like this. And from a training perspective, you got a 17-ounce, basically, what would you call it, compact or mid-size pistol that's going to be a nice trainer for, it almost kind of looks like a Walther or like a PPQ or something, or VP9 or whatever. I mean, it's got some really nice design cues on it. I don't know, David, Squib, what do you guys think about that? Or not Squib, David or AWAG? Any thoughts on that at all?
22 pistols, I guess they're pretty cool. It's not something I'm well versed in, so
yeah.
Obviously, with the capacity, it may or may not be legal in New Jersey.
Well, they're gonna make a 10-round version, but if you guys are 5 now, are you 5-round or
no?
what?
We're 10.
They're gonna do a 10-round version of it too.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so anyway, that was just something I wanted to put out there, and we'll come back and look at it when we take a look at the SHOT Show preview that's coming out, because we got that coming up. Also, guys, make sure you do stay over there at gunchannels.com, because there's going to be a lot of videos that get posted over there, as well as, Gunstreamer and some of the other places. As we start to get more of these, SHOT Show videos, they start coming out. Next week is going to be a pretty busy week for a lot of people, I think. And we got a lot of people from gun channels that are also going to go over there. So, all right. So again, I wanted to get your take on that, the TX22, to see what you think about it. I'm pretty excited for it. So,
Travis,
yeah.
I don't really have a need for a 22 handgun, but if I was going to get one, I'd get the Rough Rider. But
yeah.
And at some point, maybe I will. But I will say this, I shot Smeggy's PMR 30, and that was kind of fun. I don't think I'd buy one. It's kind of gimmicky, but it was fun. So I bet you this handgun would be fun.
Yeah.
But and because of the price, it's affordable fun. But for me, it's just. I'll just come over and shoot yours, okay?
Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to have one, because I'm actually going to buy it and transfer it to somebody else. But I'm going to have it for a while. But if we see you before it goes, you're more than welcome to check it out. So yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I want to just go ahead and read the official press release on this. Hi Point is going to be releasing an all new pistol, and I don't know if they've mentioned if it's going to be. They haven't said the caliber yet. It's going to be an all-new original design. It's going to be a high-capacity model. So, I mean, anything over the 8 rounds that you get with Hi Point pistols, I guess you could consider high capacity. So let me just tell you what Hi Point has to say. This is their official press release on it. It says, this is not an old model with a few tweaks like the latest version of someone's 1911. This is an entirely new pistol of a more contemporary design, and yet will retain Hi Point's affordable pricing, reliability, robust construction, accuracy, and owner-following lifetime warranty. Hi Point is not a model flipping company, and it's been years since our new last pistol was unveiled. The thought process is basically, if it works well and people can afford it, then it works well. However, Hi Point's new owner wanted a more contemporary, compact, high-capacity pistol that is still Hi Point affordable, robust, reliable, and accurate. And they're going to have 3D printed versions of it for the press to see and to handle at SHOT Show, but they're not going to have a working model. It's not coming out until late 2019. But I think it's about time that Hi Point maybe steps up a little bit and maybe modernizes things. Hopefully have a more reliable magazine, because I know those feeding lips on those single stack mags are sometimes an issue on the pistols. I would love to see a 10mm pistol. If they came out with one of those, Hi Point, if you're listening, and I know you're not. I mean, I think a lot of people would buy one. A lot of us would buy one just to have a sub $200 10mm handgun. I mean, that would just be awesome. To me, I think that would be just to play around with it, just to get back into 10. My first handgun was a G20. I think it was a Gen 2 that I bought back in the mid 90s. And, I would love to get a 10mm, an inexpensive 10mm. Not inexpensive to shoot necessarily, but what do you guys think about that? Is it time for Hi Point to come up with something a little bit different now?
It's time for them to come up with something that's as good as what they make now, but looks better.
Yeah, the robust design part of the description kind of scares me, because I'm thinking, okay, are they going to make it kind of thick and chunky? Now, here's the question. Is it too little, too late? Because there are so many $250 to $300 polymer guns out there that you can buy, polymer metal guns. is it? I'm kind of worried. That's why I'd like to see him do the 10. I think it would give him a selling advantage because right now they're going to be going up against, the G2C, unfortunately the Sky CPX2, the Ruger EC9S. I mean, there's so many of these inexpensive handguns that are out there now. I mean, it's going to have to really offer an edge, especially for somebody to not want to go, say, with a police trade and M&P for $300, where they're coming out with theirs at $250. I don't know. Any more thoughts on that? Is it too little too late?
They're probably going to drop in one at $125 or $150.
They can do that. I hope they don't have to recoup their development costs by selling something that's like $299 and then they up their price point. I think it would be a mistake because I think a lot of people maybe associate High Point with being cheaper than the rest. And at this point, there is a slew of good guns out there. You can get a Walther Creed, I think, for what, $249 or $299 from CDNN. I mean, love it or hate it, it's still going to be a step up from, say, a High Point C9, right?
I think if High Point would come out with the like you were just saying a little earlier, the 10 millimeter,
yes,
and make it look good, like make an attractive looking gun, it blow through the roof. It would sell out like hotcakes.
Oh, and this one is going to have a threaded barrel, by the way. They've already said that it's going to have it. I mean, that's just kind of becoming the standard now on a lot of these new pistols coming out. You're going to get the threaded barrel. And again, hopefully they'd make a version they can get something out there. What kind of makes me wonder is if we're starting to see some of the single stacks now become a little more popular, like the new Glocks that have been released and stuff. I'm curious if they're going to do a single stack, like, okay, they say high capacity. Are they going to do like a 10-round single stack? It's like, well, if they do, I would hope it would be a double stack, like 15 rounds to go after the Glock 19, right? I know that's crazy to think that somebody would even attempt to go after a Glock 19, much less High Point. But I think there's some things that it's going to need if it wants to be competitive because I don't know. I don't even know if I'd want to buy a single stack 10 round, unless it's got some sort of edge that it offers, unless it's just dirt cheap and it looks good and runs. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence line about whether or not if I'd buy one if it wasn't a 10 millimeter. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I ain't going to speak to it until I see it.
Yeah. And that was one of the reasons why they didn't want to release the design until SHOT Show, so they can actually get feedback from people when they're showing off the model. I think they're going to be listening to. And by doing a 3D printed model, if everybody that handles it says, "Oh my God, the grip angle on this thing sucks," or "Oh my God, the trigger placement is terrible," or "Oh, this slide is terrible," maybe they'll take a few design cues from the feedback they get from the media and the fans and the enthusiasts and make a few changes to it in their production model. I mean, and obviously they don't have a working model available for range day or anything like that, unless they surprise everybody, and they do, but they're saying they're only going to bring a 3D model.
It almost seems like High Point's joking, like when they put out a firearm. Just they look like what they look like, but every time I talk to anybody about a High Point, they always say the same thing. It's super fun to shoot. It's a piece of crap, but it's super fun to shoot. And I agree. My friend's got a 40, and I love shooting that thing. We put a scope on it, and we can't see the target. You couldn't hit a target from sitting right next to it.
You're talking about the carbine model, not the pistol. Okay, the carbine model. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. All right.
And the plastic is cracking in a couple places, but it's still functional. It's still safe to use, and it was cheap, but it's a blast to get out there. Especially he's got the 40, and when you pull the trigger, it's got that distinct sound that it makes, which I don't know, it just makes me happy to fire it. But I think if they raise their quality control a little bit, and tried to market themselves as not the joke firearm of the industry, I think that they could do all right. I mean, they're not going to be Remington or Winchester or anything like that ever, but
yeah, I'll tell you what, and they're going to have to do something with the trigger. I hope they don't bring over the trigger from their current lineup of pistols, because it works, but man, it feels like something you kind of cobble together out of parts you printed yourself, I don't know. But the fact that they've got the 10 millimeter carbine out makes me think, well, maybe they're going to use the same magazines for. It would be kind of nice if they do that. But if they introduce this as a whole separate line, as maybe a premium line, then they wouldn't necessarily have to have that link back to the carbines, So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of cool to look it up. And there's 4 or 5 different websites that have confirmed this press release, so it's not just one website making something up. So it'll be very interesting to see. We need to message those guys from Gun Channels are going to be at SHOT and ask them to go right there. The other one I was interested in, and I'm not going to show a picture of it, but it's the Taurus TS9. It was Taurus's new striker fired 9mm. They came out with the TH models, the 9 and the 40, the compact and the full size, which are replacements for the PT809. The TS9 is kind of their go at Glock, basically. There's videos out on it, and what's interesting about the TS9 is they said it wasn't really ready for the market yet. It wasn't ready for the U.S. market. That's what they told, I believe, Ghost Tactical when he talked to him at SHOT Show last year. But if you go to the Taurus Brazil website and look at their Brazilian catalog with their pistols in it, it says new model for 2019 in the catalog. So the TS9 is being released in Brazil. I just don't know if it's going to make it up here. I'm sure there's a whole process the gun has to go through before it gets approved for U.S. sale. But anyway, so hopefully they'll come out. But a lot of guys have been on the TX22 video that I put out. A lot of people were saying, man, if they made a 9mm that look like this, I would buy it. A lot of people like that design and that look because that's kind of an HK meets a Steyr meets a, like a SIG sort of appearance to it. So I don't know. I just think that would be kind of cool. So let's go ahead and continue here. 2019, guys, are you excited by anything coming out this year in terms of firearms? Is there anything out there at all that's catching your attention? Okay. David,
no, sir.
Squib, is there anything out there for new guns that you've heard about?
Honestly, Travis, I don't know if it's because I went to bed like 5 hours ago or if it's just whatever, but I'm falling asleep from all the excitement of these new releases.
Oh, I know. So I put out a multi-part series, and I'm not just boosting those videos, and the first video that I put out there, like, people are saying, oh my God, there's nothing at all. Looks like I'm going to save money this year, So the industry needs to really rethink itself, or maybe we need some major revolution in firearms where we get away from traditional powder projectils. Maybe it's time to move into phasers,
You know what they need to do? They need to listen to the customers. When you're talking about, if they made a Hi Point 10mm handgun, I'd buy it, or people that have been complaining about the fact that Glock keeps coming up with all these different variations when they just want this. Why don't you just do this? Or I don't know. There's just been so many things that I've heard over the years that people have said, I would buy that if they'd make it. And it's like, they're not listening. The car companies do the same thing. They make what they want. They say that they do surveys with the customer stuff, but I don't know.
Do they really listen to us though?
Here's also the thing with the industry. There are people that say, "Oh, I want this, I want this, I want this," but when as soon as the company goes around to making it, only like 10% of the people who actually wanted it buy it.
That's because they make it and they go, and now it's $5,000. And it's like, no, that's a $500 gun, dude. Well, we're selling it for $5,000. Well, then, that's another thing too. For some people, they want these. Okay, there's a difference between an affordable gun and a cheap gun. And some of this stuff that is sub $200, sub $400 is cheap. And some of it is just plain affordable. And sometimes it's kind of hard to get some of the customers to buy your affordable gun because they look at the price tag and they assume it's a cheap gun.
Yeah.
And some people will do nothing but buy cheap guns. And they go, look at me, I've got 40 guns. And it's like, yeah. And if we add up the cost of all 40 of your guns, that's the price of one of my guns. So, it's just, I think making everybody happy won't work. And AWAG does have a point, because I've heard somebody say that before, is that if we made what the 10 people asked for, there'd be the only 10 people buying it. But I think those companies, they're not really, I don't know, they're not taking everything into account when they do that. I think price is a big thing. I think releasing it on time is a big thing. And I think that keeping it going, even if sales aren't so good, not just releasing it going, well, we didn't make good sales, and then, canceling it.
Yeah.
One of the problems that I have with new stuff coming out is Maryland's gun laws, like usually all these conversations start with. Some of the stuff that have been coming out in your videos are really cool. I like the way they look. They're attractive guns. I'd be interested in getting them. But by the time Maryland allows me to buy them, they're 6 months old, a year old, 2 years old, or Maryland says, no, you can't have it. And going back to what Squib was talking about last night, if the firearms industry would step up and say, hey, states, if you want to bring more tax revenue in, stop, refusing to sell our guns for 2 years when they first hit the market.
Well, what I wanted to do is just kind of just do a little scan real quick, and you guys can tell me to stop if if any of these even look interesting to you at all. Just kind of make a little scan of some of the new stuff. There's some new models at the Gun Holsters and Gear article that I've been using for my information. They just posted this morning. So Bursa's got some new threaded pistols that are coming out. Threaded barrel pistols. They're going to offer that on their complete lineup. We've got yourself Caracal, Car KR816A2. Again, $1,900 piston-driven AR pistol. Okay, that's cool, but you look around, it's like, all right, it's not bad. It's not bad. Versus got a new flat dark earth model, and again, a lot of this is just new colors or some minor tweaks, and there isn't a whole lot. Like we said, the TX22. This is the brand new model. Takedown on it, by the way, you slide. There's a little lever here that you either pull down or slide, and that's going to allow the slide to come off of it. By the way, that's not blowback design. I just want to mention that now if you guys are joining us late. It's an actual tilting barrel style with the captive guide rods. Modern striker fired 22 rimfire, which is kind of interesting. Made in USA too. The other one, we'll skip the Springfield. The Ed
You always
Brown.
get warm, fuzzy feelings off of that, don't you?
What's that? What's that? Yeah, I'm excited for the. I see it as something being kind of cool. I don't know. I like it. I do like it. I think it's neat. Get 2 mags with it, 17 rounds. The fact I can shoot that thing for pennies on the dollar, man. I'm excited. Yeah. I think it's pretty sweet, man. So Tony, what do you think of the overall design, Tony? Because when I showed you the Ruger Security 9, I think you called it an abomination. Sorry, David. I loved it. I thought the design looked pretty cool. Do you think this is too Kirby, swoopy, or is it modern enough for you, Tony? What's your take on it?
It's way too angular. I hate that look.
Okay. And off the
That
just
wouldn't
kind of
prevent me from buying a gun because I don't like the look of the SD9.
Okay. Well, yeah. True. Maybe they go something just a little more traditional looking, I suppose. Let's see. The Ed Brown Zeb 2019 with the RMR. That one's only $5,000. That was the one that's $49.95 that I talked about in the video.
All right, I'm buying everybody one.
There you go.
It's only $5,000. Everybody, just send me your email address.
Hey, David? What's your magazine capacity in Maryland? By the way, are you guys 10 or?
Well, that's actually another thing that I'm going to be doing a video about here soon. Is the Maryland gun regulations and stuff. I'm not going to go too deep into the woods over all the laws. I'm just going to brief over some of it, and the magazines are what I'm going to cover.
Yeah.
You can own any size magazine that you want, but you cannot purchase it, transfer it, trade it, give it away, or anything in the state. So therefore, if I go to Pennsylvania and grab a 50-round drum or 20-round mag or a 30-round mag, I can bring it back to Maryland, no problem.
Okay.
I can't order it and have it. It can't be shipped across state lines in any way, shape, or form, but I can carry it across state lines. Anything that you buy in Maryland, whether it's in a store or over the internet, has to come with 10 rounds only or smaller, which is weird because a lot of the newer 22 stuff has got more than 10 round mags, and most of the firearm industry is going to make a 10 round mag because I don't think Maryland and Jersey are the only states that require that. So they want to make their money off these states, so they're going to make them available, but not every firearm does that.
Yeah.
And then if you want to buy a used, like if Travis, like if you had a used firearm and you had 60 15-round magazines, well, you could send me the gun and then you've got a whole bunch of magazines sitting in the drawer somewhere, or I'd have to drive out to pick them up. Or you could send them to Pennsylvania and I'd have to drive there to pick them up.
Okay. That's some crazy stuff, man. Does that really stop gun violence in Baltimore, David? That's a question I was going to ask.
Well, let's see. 2017, there was 341 homicides, and the vast majority of those were, firearm deaths.
Dude, that's minor league stuff compared to Chicago.
Well, yeah, Baltimore's got 600,000 people maybe in it. It's a really small populated city, so if we had Chicago's population, there'd be thousands of murders here every year.
Yeah, just exponentially speaking. So
yeah, when the number crunchers start crunching the numbers, one of the local radio stations does it once a week. When they do out the crime report, they compare it to the population of, say, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and the numbers are terrifying when you hear just how many the estimation would be. Obviously, it's, estimated numbers, but no, absolutely it does not. Baltimore's gun laws are even worse than Maryland itself, and no, it doesn't work at all.
you would think it would get to the point that after so many gun violence deaths that everybody that wanted to kill each other would just be dead by this point. You would think that you would just run out of people to die. Does it never end? I'm just curious.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to
Gang-
sound quite heartless, but
Years and just generation after. Yeah, go ahead.
it's the actual truth. People keep having babies, and those babies are the ones that these aren't grown folks out in Baltimore City killing each other. You know, a lot of them are young people shooting and killing each other. And what's even worse than that is they shoot at the guy that they want to hit and hit some little girl, you know, riding a bike on the sidewalk.
So it's all gang violence is what you're telling me. The majority of it's just all gang violence. That's it.
I have a suggestion. Maybe you should offer free training for these guys so you can cut the collateral damage.
But see, Baltimore is not exactly what you would consider like a gang town. Like you think Los Angeles and you got the Bloods and the Crips and stuff like that. The gangs in Baltimore are all small little fractions. You know, we've got our big gangs, our MS-13s and all that kind of stuff, but the majority of it are small little neighborhood type of fractions. And that's why there's a whole lot more, because there's no structure to the gang. You know, you can just go out and blast anybody and not get in any trouble for it, where normal gang regulations is you shoot somebody for a reason.
Okay. Are they turf wars? Is that what we're talking about here? Just who gets the next block over? You know, kill the guy that's on my block.
Yeah, a lot of it's drug turf related, and then a lot of it is just you stepped on my shoes and I'll come back in a half an hour and shoot you. Which I'm not even kidding about that. Like I know somebody who was shot and killed because he stepped on somebody's foot.
Jesus. All right. Foos is joining us. Foos, what's new, bro? How you doing, man?
Got 20,000 primers this week, so
Cool.
I'm gonna spend the first snow day of Arkansas. When I say snow day, people are freaking out, and
2 inches of snow. 3.
You could still see mostly grass.
Oh my God! Really?
Oh, people go nuts here. Like I guarantee the roads were too warm for anything.
Okay.
And people like. I did go to Walmart just for my normal shopping yesterday, and people are like bread and milk like crazy.
God. Hey, if you want to laugh, watch Night Strike's video from last winter. He stepped out and filmed out in the middle of their blizzard, and he was just absolutely freaking out. He's like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with this state?" And it's just like you can't even see him because there's like a whiteout. He goes. He goes, I live in the South for a reason. It's just you, yeah. It's hilarious.
It's
yeah,
funny.
people. I mean, we were completely coated in ice yesterday morning. We still had a regular operating system for all the schools and businesses and stuff like that. I mean, it. Oh man, yeah. So hey, tell us a little bit about Sport Shooters Ammunition. What's going on?
Well, I got 20,000 primers, so
Okay.
So I've loaded about 4,000 of them up in a couple days. Not crazy. I'm mostly bulk packs because I have a match next week, so hopefully get rid of some of those. Today I plan on doing 4,000 to 5,000 in boxes. So, yeah.
Yeah, got a few orders going out now this week, or what? Do you have a few orders going on?
Right now, I have no orders at all.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then what are your prices? What can you expect to pay if somebody wants to buy ammunition from you? Notice I said buy.
Yes, buy.
Yeah, buy.
So
Okay.
right now I'm shooting. I'm loading 125 grain 9mm, $9 a box. So what is that? $90 for 50, 180 for. All right, $90 for 500, 180 for 50 for 1,000. Shipping is usually right around 20 for the 500. And then right around 40 for the 1,000. And people are like, well, why is your shipping so much? I'm small. I don't get all the shipping discounts.
Yeah.
And I'm and a lot of people they told me up my prices to $10 a box. So I get that some of that shipping is built in, but I don't like that.
Okay.
I mean,
people need to, there's a couple things I want people to think about when it comes time to do some ammo shopping. Go to like ammoseek.com, type in 125 grain reloads, and you'll find the same price as Foos without shipping, right? So Foos's price delivered matches what I'm seeing on AmmoSeek without shipping. And the only way you're going to get free shipping, a lot of those websites don't even do free shipping. Like PSA does if you buy a case of ammo. I think they're kind of eating that loss because they know they're going to sell other stuff. PSA gives you free shipping. Like Target Sports USA, some of these places will give you free shipping if you buy a whole case. If you don't, because I've ordered just a couple boxes of ammo from PSA. I needed some ammo I couldn't even get locally, and they were actually the cheapest, but I'm paying like $14 or $15 shipping for 3 boxes of rifle ammo. So people freak out when it comes to shipping. I think people have gotten so used to like the whole Amazon Prime thing where you get free shipping on everything, or you get free shipping on an order of $300 or more, that when they have to pay shipping, they freak out.
Well,
I really think that's kind of what's wrong with people these days.
So the thing with Amazon is they have so much. Yeah, here's the blizzard, and it's still coming down, quote unquote, coming down.
Where's the snow? I don't.
Hey,
What's
right
that's
there.
not even that's snow, is it? No, I'm just messing.
Yeah, people will be freaking out now.
I'd be out there making a snowman. All right.
So
You can't. There's not a snow.
My other one. Back to my other.
Well,
Yeah.
People flip out all the time about
I know.
shipping, and there's no such thing as free shipping. It's just not. It's not a thing. There's no company out there that's going to do anything for free. That's very exactly against the business model, is to give stuff away for free. It's all built into their pricing.
So whenever it comes down, I mean, I work for a shipping company. Whenever it comes down to Amazon and other extremely large shippers.
Hey, Foos Yoder wanted me to ask a question. He wanted to know if you have had any paying customers yet.
Yes. All my customers have been paying customers.
And look, if you need us to show our bank statements online, we'll show our bank statements online again.
So with that, I refuse to do the T&E. There's a couple people that have asked about it. I'm refusing to do that because I want honest reviews. If I give them something, even if I would give them something and it doesn't work, I still want them to say it doesn't work. But I don't want them to be compelled to say something good whenever it's not. So I'm never going to do T&E. And I know people are like, oh, you should never say never in a company. No, I'm never going to do T&E. I will not do it.
About the ammo testing, I did. You know what, Foos? I called you when I left the range. Was it Tuesday or something? I went back because I wasn't happy with the footage that I filmed and ran another 100 rounds of it. So I've officially fired 300 rounds. 250 rounds. I got the empty boxes sitting right up here. I've got 250 rounds that I fired through a Glock 17 Gen 4 with no problems. I'm doing some product testing for a company that's going to be releasing a new tactical flashlight. And I'm not going to say who or what, but I wanted to actually show it on camera shooting and show that the light doesn't fall apart. So I run 100 rounds through my Glock 17, and that video is going to air this week when the product gets announced at SHOT Show. And I ran your ammo, and it ran fine. In fact, the only problem I have with it, Foos, is your ammo is so cheap. I find myself using lots of it. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is $8 a box. The hell with it. I'll just fire another 50 rounds.
So that's one reason I got into the business. That's one reason I opened the company. It's not for me to make a profit. I want my friends. I opened to have my friends and you guys on Gun Channel, which I consider a bunch of you guys friends, to be able to shoot for the same budget. That's it. I mean, and that's what reloading is. You never save with reloading. You shoot more on the same budget.
Are you going to offer Oregon 20-round packaging? Yoder's wondering.
Somebody in chat asking for the link to your store.
Okay, so I don't have store. Because I am so small, I do not have a.
Well, you're actually a big guy, but your business is small.
Yeah. So yes, I don't have a web store. You can get a hold of me on Facebook, Sports Shooters Ammunition.
Put a link to it here in the chat.
Direct link there.
Here you go, guys.
The reason I don't is I have known other people that have gotten in this game. And one guy that he does it, he's out of North Carolina. He has 6 presses that run every night for like 6 hours. He has a normal corporate day job. He gets home. He runs his presses. He has his kids rebox every night. So it's number one, second job for him. Number two, he could have a lot more volume. I'm just me. I have no kids. I have no free labor. Well, free in quotes. And then I know another guy who also offered ammo, and he had 235,000 round orders back to back with in like 2 or 3 days. It took him months to fulfill that order. So I want to be, you get the order, I get the order, it's out of my house in a couple days.
Yeah, I got it within 4 days after me paying you. I ordered like on a Friday, and I think I had it by Tuesday.
Yep.
I mean, it was crazy,
Somebody out there, I'm not going to say any names or whatever, somebody out there wants to know if you take Bitcoin.
I do have PayPal set up. If you don't like PayPal, like I don't like PayPal, you could give me your credit card information. I think that's what David did. He's a customer of mine as well.
Yeah, I just did PayPal and it was fine.
Yeah.
If I get some, I'm going to send you a money order.
Actually, David, no, you did. You actually sent me cash, didn't you? Or I can't remember. I think he might have sent me cash. But I did have a customer go and give it his. No, it was Boopsort who gave me his credit card information, and I went. I put into. I'm hooked up with Square. I put it into Square, and then as soon as charge and everything went through, I cut the piece of paper off. You could, I even have the post-it note right here, or I cut the piece of paper off and I shredded his credit card information.
Oh, I didn't mean I'd send you a money order because I don't trust you. I trust you completely, Foos. I just do it just because it's a jerk move.
Oh yeah,
the whole thing about you paid me with a money order, really?
No, I mean, no, it's fine. I'm not. So whenever it comes to all this and it comes to the business, I am really good at separating business and work from personal. I do this at my day job as well. I get into fights with people about business. We're like, okay, we're no longer going to talk about this, or this issue's settled.
Yeah.
I go back to joking with them within seconds. Same here. If there's a product, I will do what I can to fix it, and it still be a friend of yours. I'm not. I don't take anything personal.
And when I did my range test of it, I shot the ammo and showed it off. And if it would have been screwing up, I was going to post a video regardless. I'm like, let's just see how it runs, because you'd want to know if there's a problem with the production. You need to know if there's a problem with the powder, or if there's a bad batch of primers, or if just real quick, Archangel said he's going to talk to Hank Strange. And so you may have a Hank Strange customer contacting you. Okay. So if you could get him a box, he could show it off in one of his tests. That'd be cool. Get you a little more exposure out there. Again, the idea is to support the little guy, to support the small upstart, to not give the money to the big box stores, to give it to somebody else that's,
So,
and yeah.
Whenever it comes to polymer-coated projectiles, some people say a downside of those is it creates a little bit more smoke.
It does, but it's not. First of all, I think it's cool, and second, it's not so much that I couldn't even see my target. I didn't even notice it. It was usually after the time I finished the mag that the smoke was. I mean, a little bit was coming out, but it wasn't. I mean, to me, it didn't feel any more excessive than any other ammo I've ever shot.
Right, and that is powder. Is a little bit of polymer coming off. Yeah, maybe, but. I've been shooting thousands, and I guess it's because I haven't bought or shot a copper-plated or copper-jacketed projectile in so many years. I don't even see smoke anymore. So maybe with your light, go out.
Oh, the light's on. My light is actually on in the test that I do. Okay. And you'll be able to see the amount of smoke and I'm mag dumping, dude. Mm-hmm. I did 7 magazines in about maybe 4 minutes. I had to reload 3, but still,
So what about a comparison between my stuff I like drop 2 mags down mine pretty quick, and then drop 2 mags of
Just conventional. I wonder if the heated barrel would cause more smoke or less smoke, though. Maybe do one mag to heat up the barrel first, and then then try a test and a test or something like that. So
something like that. Yeah, however you want, just suggestions. You don't have to do it, of course. It's whatever you want to do, but something like that, just to show that may be the only downside. But any air, any range or anything should have enough ventilation, and I do like the sticker over your right shoulder.
Oh yeah, do you notice the strategic placement of the SS?
Yeah. Oh, both of them. Yes.
Yeah, both corners.
Yes.
They just fit just right. Hey, real quick, Tacos and French Fries is saying that he wants to get into reloading due to 6.5 Creedmoor. It's pricey stuff. Tacos and French Fries, I'd sat down and did the calculations. If you don't take into consideration the cost of getting the press and the things you need to get set up, if you just want to talk price per round, you can load, when I calculated it, was Hornady match 6.5 Creedmoor ammo at $7.50 for a box of 20 versus paying $30 a box for. Because Tacos, I sat down and did the math on Tacos and French Fries, is saying that he wants to get into reloading 6.5. That's actually going to be the caliber that's going to get me into reloading. That and Squib, I've got a lot of 9mm that you gave me too, brass and powder and bullets, slugs or whatever. I'm gonna get into it because of those two reasons, but it is a lot cheaper to get into reloading your own ammo, especially when you start talking precision. It's amazing what you can save once you get past that initial startup price. Yeah.
So precision, you better go single stack. I mean, single press.
Yeah, it's single stage.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
Good.
Oh yeah, I think that's the way that I want to go. I really want to take my time learning it. And there's always going to be room to buy another press if necessary, or when the time comes.
You go back and you'll find a need for that single stage, even if you've got a turret or progressive. But for something like 6.5, you're not shooting a volume that you need to do a 6.5 on a progressive. I would think.
The key on that 6.5 is I've already gone out and fired 100 rounds of it through my Mossberg Patriot. So I've got the brass. I've got it all baggied up with the brand. So I know which one was the Hornady, which one was which one was the Federal, which one was the Remington. So
if you want if you want top-notch accuracy, you're going to have to make a load development for each type of brass.
Yeah.
If you just want to say, screw it, I want, instead of getting, a point something MOA, if you just want a 1 MOA, I just make one load and don't even worry about the brass.
Run it through everything. Well, for the Hornady match that I have, I've got an unfired box. I'm going to use that. I want to do a comparison before and after. Okay. Do the range test and show the accuracy of it, and then show it afterwards. By the way, I've finally got a nice new scope coming. So I mean, I've been using tester scopes on the channel for a year now that people have sent me, companies that sent me to show off, inexpensive scopes. I got a Vortex Diamondback HP 4016 by 42 or 44 coming in the mail. And got a really good deal on that. So what's that, AY?
First focal or second focal?
It is first focal plane.
Cool.
It's got the parallax adjustment on the side. I wanted to go SWFA, but it was just out of my budget. It was going to be around almost $400. I got this one. These are on clearance for $219 at Sportsman's Warehouse, and they were normally $350. It's because of Sandhill Shooter that I'm buying it, because I looked at his and saw his, and I think he said he paid $350 without rings, and these are on sale for $219. They're not even in production anymore, and so they do have they're HP. They're not HD, but they're HP, so they've got the nice light absorbing glass and the coatings on them for anti-glare and stuff. Lifetime warranty. I decided just to go that route. It was more, I would have got the SWFA, but that extra $150 would basically buy me a press. So I had to kind of wad of money on ammo this year and also some firearms. So I wanted to get a decent scope that's going to be kind of my testing mule for different rifles. And so I decided just to go that route. But I do want to get an SWFA at some point. But I still wanted to go with that variable magnification. I just wasn't quite ready to go fixed yet, but yeah.
So whenever I had Remington 700, I took a fixed 10 power. I really liked it. The issue I don't have that gun anymore is I put it into a rest, made sure everything was good and tight, and at 50 yards was shooting about 4 inches. And I had multiple people shoot it, all right about the same, and the gun was just crap. So I was like, okay, let me free float this. So I borrowed a buddy's stock and went to put it in, and it didn't fit the Remington. The trigger was off. The pins were off. I mean, just everything was off. I'm like, this gun is gone. So,
what would you try different ammo? Did you try some different ammo?
I tried multiple
Brands and
types of
stuff?
ammo.
What was the caliber on that?
It was 308.
Oh, okay. You said it was Remington 700.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a new Remington 700.
Well, my Mossberg Patriot is giving me mediocre accuracy. I've only been firing Remington Core-Lock through it, just kind of my break-in ammo, and I'm only getting about an inch at 100. And I don't know. I'm going to try it with some better glass and see if the accuracy improves a little bit, because I'm using my older scope that's had a lot of rounds put through it, but still, I don't know. I mean, an inch is fine for deer hunting, on a sub $350 bolt action. You can't complain, but I expected for Creedmoor, as efficient as it's supposed to be of a round, I expected a little bit better accuracy, But Warlock is not an efficient bullet either.
Well, that's true, but your gun, for being, a lot of these cheaper guns, or I should say inexpensive guns, they are made for hunting. They're not made for ultra precision. Because you just the economies of scale just isn't there.
Yeah, you're not going to get that. Well, I mean, like my Ruger Ranch has a hammer forged barrel. That sucker is a tack driver, with the right ammo in it. It's but the Mossberg Patriot just doesn't. It's going to give you that acceptable group you're going to need for a nice deer hunt out to 300 yards, I suppose, if you're shooting a 6.5, depending on what you want to do. But do you want to answer the question that's on the internal real quick before we go to the next topic? All right. So who asked the question? Was it Frank Hellman?
Sean Newman.
Oh, okay.
He said, Foos, just curious, what would startup cost and equipment for a small operation like yours, ballpark figure? So if you don't have anything, you're going to look like my press. I have a Mark 7 Revolution Evolution Pro. It's a $6,000 press. That's fully automated. Everything. Well, I mean, fully automated as in I can't walk away from it because it will stop because of a few stoppages and stuff like that. It's not one of these that just take and walk away and not worry about it. If I had a press like that, I would have to play ITAR, which is $3,000 a year. So no. So $6,000. I already had all my dies and stuff. So you're going to add, depending on your dies, $50, $60, $100, depending on your dies. So, I mean, compared to the press, that's no big deal. And then you have to do your FFL 06 at least. FFL 06 is $30 for 3 years. Then you have, of course, components and everything. You could buy small or buy in bulk. What I did is, because brass, you seem to go through brass more than anything. I don't know why. It just seems like something that always disappears on you. So I
50, 100 at a time. So
So what I did is I went out to Facebook and went to these brass resellers to see if I could get a 55-gallon drum shipped. Well, I was able to for $1,750, and as soon as I got that in there, and I found another guy that would ship for $1,500. So my next one's going to come from him, because in the reload world, pretty much brass is brass. Especially not in pistol world, I should say. And then I bought enough powder for about 70,000 or 80,000 rounds, and that was $900 to $1,000. Primers I'm buying right now as much as I can at a time. Last order was 20,000. That was 600 and some odd bucks. And then for about 2,000 bullets, you're looking at $1,500. So to get started, just press and that stuff, you're looking at, what, not $8,000-9,000, and then so you're like, okay, sweet, I have everything ready to go. Well, you need to make sure you have your press squared away. I have 2,000 rounds here, the first 2,000 rounds off the press that I've had high primers with. I've inconsistent powder charges, inconsistent depths, stuff like that. Just learning the press. So I have 2,000 rounds. Yes, I'm going to burn through it, but still 2,000 rounds has a cost.
Yeah.
So you get everything set up for yourself for the load you want to do, and you're like, okay, if I sell this, what's going to happen? Well, what if for some odd chance there's a double charge or there's a squib and someone puts something down? Okay, need to start looking for insurance. Well, you're not going to be able to go to any national insurance company and get insurance. You're not going to be able to find underwriters, period.
So what did you do?
So I absolutely hate this, but there's a company, Locked In Insurance in Kansas City. They are associated with the NRA. And I hate that they're associated with the NRA. The part of the contract is the company has to be an NRA member, $40 a year. So with everything, my insurance is costing me $1,405 a year. Whenever you only make 4 or 5 cents a round,
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at 45,000 rounds just to break even per year for cost of components and insurance. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you have to start looking at boxes. Your boxes are, 50 cents a box. Your shipping is going to be 50 cents, usually 50 cents a box for the shipping box. And then of course shipping, but it's how you want to do that. So right now, I probably have about $13,000 or $14,000 into my company right now. I started it. I incorporated it. Oh, and then whenever you get your LLC, that's a few $100s as well. So since September, that's when the LLC was formed. I got my FFLs in late November. And then I started selling locally to friends that, to people that have already shot my ammo because they're like, hey, I need some ammo. And I've, given they're friends, before the company, I give them ammo. I've reloaded their ammo that they trusted me. I trusted them. They did buy some ammo from me before I had insurance.
Yeah.
But January 1 is when my policy started. Since then, I had like $800-900 in sales, something like that. So, I mean, if you think about it, I have about $13,000 in the company. I have sales of maybe $2,000. So, yeah.
Well, once you get, I'm going to just continue to. I'm gonna range test and accuracy test it just to see what it does. But I'm just gonna continue buying. A part of it for me is the convenience of not having to go out to Walmart, where I'm gonna buy something else I don't need anyway. Our Walmart doesn't always have multiple boxes of 50 of what I usually buy. They might have 1 or 2, and that's it. Or so I'm gonna waste gas and time going out there. I'm gonna pick up stuff I don't need. I can order it from you. I get it, just delivered to the door. To me, it's just much more convenient. I guess for somebody that's going to buy in volume, or if you just want to start stocking up, you just want to have some good FMJ ammo to practice with and keep your good personal defense ammo on standby. Why not? I'm basically spending what I'm going to spend at Walmart anyway, so I might as well just go through you and support a friend. Support a Gun Channels member, right?
So yeah. So with UPS, they require you to ship the way you got it. All your rounds individually packed into boxes, which is in another box. I heard FedEx just says they need to be in a box. So I've heard people going through FedEx, using FedEx and just having them in bags inside the box. So, if I do that, it would be about the same amount of weight because the boxes are extremely light. But it'd be smaller area, and I may be able to get a little bit of it less shipping for that, just because of the size of the box. I am looking into that as well, but right now I'm shipping through UPS.
Okay, cool.
You also got to think across a year, because we talked about it before, Foos. Across a year, if you're sending out 1,000-round cases and each one is in its own little box, yeah, one order, those couple cents that you paid for the boxes is no big deal. But across the year, all the money that you could save on those little boxes, if they just let you put 1,000 rounds in a bag and stuff in the box,
Yeah,
that would add up.
Yes. So whenever I sell locally and they want bulk stuff, so whenever I go to matches and stuff like that, I go ahead and if they buy 1,000 rounds, it's $170 versus $180. The only difference is the box of ammo. Like, I'm not even counting the stickers. I mean, the stickers are a couple, like 2 cents a piece.
And then, are you going to go to Tulsa in April?
Yes, I'm going to go to Tulsa in April.
You'll have ammo available there too.
Yes, if you guys want ammo, get with me prior, and I will sell for if you want 1,000 rounds, $170. Done. No shipping, no nothing. I'm going there anyway. So $170. If you want 50, it'll be 85, or 500, it'll be $85. And this is a 125 grain. I did put out a bullet order, and I'm going to have 2,147 grains coming in as well. I'm going to find a load in 147 grains, and that'll be my next offering. That'll be higher price.
Yeah.
Just not only just because of the bullet, but because I don't have it on the machine yet.
Yeah.
I'll have to buy a new top end, so I'm gonna have to hand roll those.
Quick question for you. Midnight Range was wondering, it says, what about bulk pack and flat rate boxes? That's how my projectiles come.
Okay, so the USPS, federal government UPS, or USPS.
Yeah, U.S. Postal Service. Yeah.
Okay. It is illegal to ship loaded ammunition through the federal USPS, Postal Service.
Okay.
If I do, it is either 3 or 6 years in prison and like a $10,000 fine starting out. So I would love to do if it fits, it ships up to $70. $70.
4 shells in there, and you're just packing them in the end and duct tape the end of it. Here you go.
If that was the case, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah.
But they don't.
All right.
If you look, with Midnight Range, it's like how bulk pack, his projectiles come in the flat rate boxes. If you see how those flat rate boxes look, you would probably understand why you don't want to be shipping ammo.
Okay.
Tony, that's why I sent you that package UPS, not USPS.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to see you in prison, Squibby, so I appreciate it.
So yeah, UPS, United Parcel Service, or FedEx. Federal Express. So.
Hey, let's go and move on to our last topic here. This was a viewer request. Striker fire versus hammer fired. Our preferences. Which one's better? Which one's worse? Advantages, disadvantages. What do you guys think? Because I fired many of both, and I've got my own opinions on them. But what is your preference, and what do you guys think is better when it comes to firearms? What do you guys like?
Well, hammer fired's more accurate, and just if you have the option of single action.
So I'm going to agree I'm going to agree and disagree. Okay, so everyone knows I am a CZ hammer fired fanatic. Okay, I've hundreds of thousands of rounds have been down. Yeah.
So people know you do compete, so people don't think you're just blowing smoke out of your butt. Right? You are committed. There is proof online. You are a competitive shooter. All right.
Yes, and I shoot shadows. CZ Shadow 2s, hammer fired. So I have trained with it. My first shot and my second shot, my double action versus my single action, are pretty much the same accuracy. Relative accuracy, it does not matter. But I have trained for the different trigger pulls. They're also lighter trigger pulls. If I did not shoot as much as I currently do, and I carried, and my whole shooting is for defensive carry, I would go striker fired, just because you don't have the difference of trigger pulls and you're not training to overcome that difference.
Oh, I agree with you on that. That's what I carry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you junk carry, appendix carry, some people would call it, I would not do that with a striker fired. The reason is this, and this is totally my opinion, is whenever you take and you put that gun pointing to your femoral artery, you want to make sure nothing's in that trigger. If you have a striker fired gun, you're just putting it into your holster without visual confirmation, because some of us have tactical guts. You put it down there and you don't know if clothing have gotten in there or whatever. With a hammer fired gun, you put your hammer down, you put your thumb on the hammer, and if there is anything in your trigger guard that starts to actuate that trigger, your hammer will start to come back and you have a physical feel of something's not right. So if you junk carry, please think long and hard about what gun you do carry there. That's all I'm going to say. Really, and whatever you carry, it's actually up to what you train with. Buy something, buy cheap ammo from me, and shoot the living shit. And like Travis will say, my ammo recoils less.
Oh yeah,
yes, it does.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've had people shoot in matches my stuff, and I've put some of factory stuff in there. You can't, you could tell because it recoils a little bit more. You could tell because the pop is a little bit more because a lot of factory loads go supersonic. Mine aren't, just sub. But
hey, perfectly adapted for suppressor shooters, huh?
Mm-hmm. So people are like, oh, I shoot what I carry, or I want factory because it's snappier. You get under stress, you're not going to know the difference.
Oh yeah,
not at all.
Hey, real quick, I want to interrupt you guys. We'll let Sandhill Shooter introduce himself, and then we can come back because I still want to continue this discussion because there are some distinct advantages and disadvantages, in my opinion, of striker fired versus hammer fired pistols. Sandhills, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Hey, sorry I'm late to the party. Thanks for the invite.
It's all good, man. Did you guys catch any snow last night at all, or not?
We've got enough snow just to say that the world got kind of white. Most of the places it kind of blew away.
You got that Arkansas blizzard, huh?
Yeah, we had more freezing mist most of the day. So.
That was so annoying yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, man. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Sandhill Shooter channel. We have a weekly recurring live show Tuesday nights, 9 Central Time. It's called 2A Tuesday. There's a big one coming up that, according to Squib, might be the one that ends all the friendships.
Yeah, let's prompt the audience so they don't come to it thinking it's going to be a two-way talk and they find out it's an episode of Oprah. So what is it? What are you guys going to talk about?
Okay, so on 2A Tuesday, we don't always chat only about gun issues or gun laws. Sometimes we cover other controversial topics as well. This week, we're going to discuss abortion. And we're all going to go in there with the intention of having a civil discussion. And one of the things that I will be leading off with is if it turns into one of those chats where nobody can hear because everybody's talking over each other, then I will start booting people.
No. Give them an opportunity to shut up and get themselves in check.
Dude,
All
that
right.
is so boring.
Let's not. I don't want this to turn into a
I
Fox
want a
News
Jerry
debate.
Springer.
No, Smooth, I don't know what you are saying.
So
Let me finish. Let me.
Right.
so
No,
one great
we'll
thing
do our
about-
best to moderate.
Here, we're already getting warmed up for it. Look at this.
no one great thing about
See, here's the best thing about having these chats. You can just do stuff like that to people, and then you don't even have to worry about it. So,
he muted me. So one really good thing about gun channels and kind of what I brought up earlier is you could talk about something and it's business, and then 2 seconds later you're joking with them. 2A Tuesday, that topic, it's everyone's opinion. You have your opinion, they have their opinion. Talk about it, have a discussion, realize you're not going to change someone else's viewpoints, but have a conversation, and once it's done, we're going back to friends. It's not nothing personal. It's having a discussion, trying to understand the other person's viewpoint, realizing that they're not going to change and you're not going to change, but just have an open discussion.
The whole point of having this discussion isn't. You're right. It's not to change people's minds to make them think the way that I think. I don't expect such a thing at all, and hopefully nobody else does who will be in the discussion. But as far as just having another conversation out there, point counterpoint, I also want to invite anybody to reach out to us at sandhillshooter@gmail.com or sandhillshooter on Facebook. If you are pro-abortion or pro-choice or pro fill in the blank, because I want a few viewpoints who differ from the ones that I have, and I'm 100% pro-life. So I want to have a discussion, and I don't want it to turn into Jerry Springer, because I want people to when that happens, I turn those chats off.
Yeah,
I won't keep listening.
Oh yeah. So getting back to whenever the right wing, alternate right people were on Matt's channel.
Yeah,
I shut it off because of Yankee.
Yep.
Yeah. Whenever you get into that type of discussion, no, Yankee needed to be booted.
I'm not talking about going Yankee. No, that's one of the reasons I won't watch some.
Never go full Yankee.
Now shut up. You are just stupid. You don't know what you're talking about.
But
Now I'm gonna completely invalidate my my host.
All right, I got.
But Foos, I agree with you that we can have discussions, we can have heated debates, we can even have arguments, and we get over it, we move on, and then we're friends again. I don't have a problem with that, but there are some people out there that nope, you say one thing and that's it, you're done forever. So just understand that you're not going to make everybody happy all the time, or not everybody's going to see the world the way you see it, in the sense of life's too short, let's not be enemies over nothing, Yep. But I like your attitude.
I like David's comment. Keep it classy. Keep it classy.
We're going to try something completely new. We're going to have a discussion, and we're going to keep it clean and classy. We're not going to be dropping F-bombs, and we're not going to be attacking each other. And we're not going to be
it's like you're going to be nice or else.
We're going to keep it G for good. Not G for gangsta, right?
That's the moderator's job. He has a set of rules. If he wants nothing that your mom would wash your mouth out with soap whenever you were a kid. If he doesn't want any of that language, that's one of the rules. If you break it, you're gone.
It's not about channel strikes. It's not about demonetization. It's about the fact that I want everybody to be able to watch these chats.
I can say what I'm going to say without getting angry or triggered, without getting triggered, and without using swear words. I just know that after I say what I say, that half the people on gun channels hate me. So the other half will definitely hate me by then.
I think Yoder Texas says it best. I am anti-pro fill in the blank. Vandal says Travis is doubtful. I don't even know what I'm doubtful about. What am I doubtful about? Don't you drop the dang bomb. Yeah, I try not to curse, and if at all possible. So I've got to.
You could always say frack.
Frack, yeah, do a little Battlestar Galactica.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I say frack quite a bit.
Frack it.
Unless I'm
Thank
at work, then I actually say the 4-letter word.
Shut the front door.
I'm going to start calling you Felicity Smoke then, Foos.
What?
You should, Sandhills, you should send out a list of approved, like approved obscenities that we can use. Oh, fudge. You mother trucker. How dare you
French.
fracking.
Biscuit-eating bulldog.
You probably ought to
are
take
an
me off of
imbecile burro donkey.
You son of a Yankee.
Dang it to heck.
Oh, no, we did not go that far, mister.
Well, I
Oh.
believe I've hijacked this
Man.
enough and gone off the rails for you far enough, Travis.
Yeah,
Make
we're
sure you
good.
don't
Hey.
miss it. Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Central Time this week, and every Tuesday, barring any major emergencies.
So let's return to the discussion on striker versus hammer fired pistols. Likes and dislikes. I can't, okay, part of me is like, oh, well, the striker fire gun has a more consistent trigger pull. No, because the hammer fire guns, I think of like a Beretta 92, you've got the, the single action pull initially once you've chambered the round, and then you've got your, or you can go with the double action only models. The problem with this debate is that there's so many different types of guns out there now that you can't say, well, the striker fire does this, but you could also have a striker fire with that kind of a trigger, or you could have a hammer fire that fires like this or fires like that. I mean, there's so many, and then you've got the concealed hammer guns where you wouldn't be able to go single action. So I don't know. I guess, Tony, what's your rationale behind saying that the hammer fired is more accurate? I want to know why. The
lighter trigger pull makes it easier to hold the gun accurately.
But I can lighten the trigger pull on my Glock.
But as a carry gun, I say keep it as simple as you possibly can. So that's why I carry a striker gun. No safety. All I got to do is pull out and pull trigger.
Yeah.
So you also have to think about one other thing. Double action or single action hammer fired gun. Totally different beasts.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you go with a single fire or single action, whether it be a 2011, 1911, or a couple other guns that are out there that are single action Browning high power, for instance. If you do that, the whole training on the different trigger pulls, that goes out the door. Then you start looking at capacity, weight, availability, stuff like that. Then it really does become what tickles your fancy. And what you will shoot.
I can't remember what these are. 6 hour. Okay. Classic Firearms has got those 6 hour trade-ins. Those P229 trade-ins. Okay. Mm-hmm. They're the 357 SIG model, but it's got the DAC trigger on it. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a double. It's like a 2-stage twin, like 2 different weight, constant double action trigger pull. I can't remember it's a DAK, and I can't remember what the acronym stands for on that, but I wanted to get one until I started reading about that trigger, and it's like, oh my God, I thought it was going to be just the traditional, double action, single action once you've chambered around, but it's not. So I don't know. I mean, let's just say for a newbie, would you guys recommend is less more? Go with something that doesn't have the manual safeties on it, something without having to worry about a decocker, something without having to worry about a hammer, ease of carry in a Kydex holster. Would you guys recommend somebody go striker fired for a first carry gun? Let's just say they want to go, mid-size or compact. What do you guys think?
My 2 cents is go with whatever feels good in your hand, whether it is a single action only, double action, single action, striker, revolver, whatever gun strikes your fancy, and you will get out and shoot and be comfortable with that gun.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Train with it, practice with it. Mm-hmm. Get out there and put don't just buy the box of 50 and put 20 through it and say, okay, and put it in the drawer and forget about it. I mean, you want to, I'm thinking of my Sky CPX2, which has like a 10-pound trigger pull. I never really thought, it was one of the earliest guns I started carrying and shooting on a regular basis. So I just got used to shooting it. But you hear all these people saying, oh my God, the reset takes forever and the trigger pull is really heavy. And I can see where people are coming from once you compare it to other carry guns or other pistols in general. But I got used to it, but I fired and practiced the hell out of it before it fell apart, So, you can get used to any kind of, whether you want a 1911 manual of arms or you want to go with striker fire Glock or whatever, or an M&P, the M&P style triggers.
I still maintain that if you have a carry gun, and especially if you're new, you have a carry gun with an external safety, especially something single action where you have to use the safety, you have to carry cocked and locked or whatever.
Yeah.
I still maintain that is kind of like the first time you start driving. If you learn on a manual transmission, then there's more to learn. You have to practice more. You have to do more to get good at it versus driving an automatic transmission when you first start off, where all you do is, run the gas or run the brake and that's it. I think it's kind of the same way. It depends on how much time and money you have to invest in training. Because anybody can get used to a 1911. Anybody can get used to drawing, flicking off the safety and then shooting. But in a high stress situation, it's just one less thing to have to worry about. That's why I agree with Tony. I carry striker fired too.
And I carried double action, single action. If I didn't, like I said, if I did not shoot so much competitions, I would have a striker fired. My first gun's striker fired. My bedside gun is a striker fired M&P Pro. The reason I have that is because the options of light are stupid easy on that. I grab the grip and the light comes on. I also have a set of Ear Pro right next to it. If I hear a bump in the night, first thing I do is grab that gun. Second thing I'm doing is grabbing that Ear Pro, turning the electronics on, because I'll be able to hear more in my house. Outside in the real world, I carry double action, single action, compact 75 because my hand and everything, that quick of a reaction, I need to be 100% comfortable with the firearm. And I know since I've shot 75 for so long, I know out to 10 yards, all I need to do is see the bumps in the sights, and I am good to go. Because the gun feels so natural in my hand by now.
Let me ask you a quick question, Foos. Do you think that with all the competition shooting you're doing and all the quick reaction, pull the trigger doing, do you think that affects your approach when you're at home thinking about home defense? Because, obviously, if you hear a noise at your house, you can't just pull your gun out and start firing in that direction.
So,
so that's it. Go ahead.
So I don't think. So I don't think it does, and the reason is this: whenever I get ready to shoot, it's never involuntary. It's never just whip it out and go. I always have a plan. I always make sure, okay, I pull the gun up and I make sure that it is an acceptable sight picture on every pull of the trigger, whether it's 2 yards or 50 yards. It's always an acceptable sight picture for that range. So there's always a decision making. And any person that shoots competition, like you'll have every now and again you'll hear me put 3 rounds into a target, and it's like bang bang bang, and they may be 0.02 of a second apart. Well, that third round was a conscious decision because I saw something in my first 2 rounds that I did not like. So everything's a conscious decision. I think that competition speeds up the human OODA loop, so you get used to making quicker decisions on when not to pull a trigger. So I think competition has helped me in that aspect.
All right. I don't know. What about, with the hammer fired, is there more fire pin, or striker, not striker, but more fire pin pressure you get? Is a hammer fired gun more likely to have less issues with finicky ammo, with hard primers than striker, and why? Isn't there like maybe a maximum amount of striking power striker should have so it doesn't penetrate or ruin, do something to the primer to affect its efficiency? Are hammer fired guns more reliable in general? Are you going to have less ammo issues with hammer fired? Or does it?
Not that I've seen.
People say, "Oh, the hammer fired it's gonna work better with Whenever we talk about some of this, like Commie Block ammo was designed for guns that were hammer fired. They always say that. Your people say that. So, any advantages at all? Yeah.
So all these ammo manufacturers, reputable ammo manufacturers, they do not want their guns to come back on warranty things. So your striker springs are going to be oversprung. Your hammers are going to have an extra hard or extra strong recoil. I mean, a hammer spring in it to make sure it pops the hardest primers out there 100%. If it chambers and that primer is live, they want it to pop because they don't want that gun to come back in, or they don't want a rumor going around that, hey, these XYZ company guns don't work with an ammo that you buy off the shelf.
Yeah.
So I have, again, going back to my competition guns, they come with a 20-pound recoil spring. I've reduced that down to an 11-pound, and I started to get a few priming issues. 13-pound, no ignition issues whatsoever on any type of primer.
Okay.
Well, I went back down to the 11 and I got an extended firing pin to help with that reliability. In your carry gun, I would not do that. If I would have, if one of these Shadows was my carry gun, it would have a 13-pound spring in it.
See, that's the thing. I think a lot of this unreliable situation is caused by people trying to lighten up their trigger. On a striker gun, to make the trigger lighter, the only thing you can do really is lessen the spring.
I know when Jim was with us, Jim Burgess was with us, he was talking about putting that Apex trigger on his SD9 or SD40. And I think he had an SD40 maybe, but he had to end up going back to the factory striker spring because he was getting light primer strikes on his regular ammo.
I had the same issue with that original Sigma.
Okay, did you swap out the trigger on the Sigma, or was that just from the factory you had problems with it?
No, it came when I bought it. It had the Wolf kit or whatever the hell it was.
Oh, Wolf spring kit on it. Yeah.
And it would fire 2 and miss 1.
Okay.
And it turns out that it just had too light a striker spring in it.
Okay.
Stock strikers put the stock spring back in it, and the gun runs fine.
Yeah. So basically, if you keep it stock and the gun comes from a reputable company, it's going to run. They don't want their product coming back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
It costs them more money. No company wants it to come back.
Well, and think about social media. If you've got a gun that's not going to fire, I'm thinking of like the Remington RP9 or any of these newer guns that you get a couple bad reviews out there. You see some issues with it. That could be the death of the sales of that gun,
Yeah, no, and I'm talking about even pre that, because word of mouth goes quick.
Oh, yeah.
So if you start having issues, they don't want to come back. It'll cost them money. It's their livelihood.
Yeah.
If it's a reputable company, it's going to work.
Cool.
I mean, word of mouth.
There are some lemons out there. I mean, all manufacturing, it's not going to be 100%. QC, you can't sit and put 2,000 rounds down on every gun to make sure it is
run properly and
everything.
Yeah,
you're never going to make
that word of mouth thing. Our favorite cheap gun, Travis, is a victim of that, and how long people hold a grudge, because technically the SD9VE is not a Sigma. The Sigma is SW9.
They have like a similar look, but that's where it ends. I mean, the SD9VE is under the hood a copy of the Glock 19.
So is the SW9.
Oh, was the SW9 also a copy of the Glock too? Because what was it? Didn't you tell me on the Smith & Wesson has to pay a royalty fee to Glock for every SD9VE sold?
It's for the SW9. That's what I thought they had to pay on.
Okay. Well, if you take off the slide and look, they look almost identical. I mean, the trigger mechanisms. I'm surprised you can't put a Glock slide on an SD9VE. Because they're so similar. I mean, the size and the width, and they're virtually identical.
I can swap the slides on the SW9 and the SD9.
Okay.
But I wouldn't try to rent the gun because they're different.
Yeah.
The triggers are way not the same though.
Yeah, the SWs were much heavier, right?
Well, I mean between the Glock and the Smith.
Yeah, no, the trigger themselves. Yeah, the ST9VE's got more of a progressive trigger with less of a wall before it breaks. It's almost like a mushier version of an M&P, a traditional M&P 9. Yeah. Just real quick, kind of going back to that High Point that we were talking about earlier. There was somebody over in the chat on the YouTube side that had actually called High Point and asked them what is the new caliber of the new pistol coming out. And they said it was 9mm. So maybe the 10's not going to happen, or maybe they'll release a 10 in their traditional line. Because that, to beef up the frame and the slide and stuff, it wouldn't take much to run a 10mm because they've already got the 40 and the 45 and so on. So it looks like it's going to be a 9mm that they're going to release. Did you guys, anybody get a chance to see the new Stoeger? I think everybody just kind of overlooked that one, the new Stoeger 9mm that they're releasing. I know we've talked about the Mossberg before in some of the chats. Stoeger is just coming out with their own polymer gun now too, aimed at the Glock 19. Again,
everything is aimed at the Glock 19.
Here, let me show you guys a picture of it real quick. I thought it was an SD9VE. I really does. Like, oh, they got a black SD9VE now, and it's going to be I would imagine Turkish-made gun because I think all the Stoegers are made in Turkey. There it is.
So that patent is out. I mean, for all the Glock patents, well, majority of the Glock patents have already ran their life. You could sit there and create a product that is a 100% Glock knockoff.
Yeah.
And you're most likely legally going to be fined. Because the patent has ran out. The copyright has ran out since Glocks have been around since the early 80s. I've been around since the early 80s. It's, yeah.
The Stoeger STR9 is what they call it, if you guys can see that. To me, that's almost what I would imagine the new High Point looking like, because this is a new design, although it looks like it's got design cues from every other polymer gun that's out there. We could take a chunk from this gun, a chunk from that gun, a chunk from that gun. But Tony, don't you think it kind of looks like an SD9VE, like redesigned,
With the
scallops and the slide?
A little difference on the scallops, but yeah, it looks quite a bit like it. I was just got my SD out and looked at it.
It's like, holy crap! Even the magazine release has got that same kind of teardrop design to it. Much more trigger guard.
But does it have a grip zone?
Of course, man. It's in Turkish. You can't read it.
Okay. Because as long as I know, as the gun tells me where to put my hand, I'm good.
Yes.
It's got the slide of an SD. It's got the front strap of a VP9. It's got the back strap of a Glock. It's got the
HK going on here. Little USB
HK trigger guard. It's got multiple slots, so that's not like a Glock, but the beaver tail is about like a Glock.
Okay, what about the grip? What does this look like? Like a VP9 or PPQ or something? Or what are you guys thinking?
Well, the front strap looks like an HK VP9
grip angle.
Yeah.
It's the Franken gun.
15 round capacity. I think it's going to have steel sights. They're going to have flat sights, so you can intentionally do a single hand charge off an edge if you had to. They even say that. I wonder if it's going to be, if it's going to have the ambidextrous slide stop on the other side. I guess, I don't know if it says or not. They're looking at MSRP of $350, so it's probably going to be a $300 gun. I mean, I own a few Stoeger firearms and I've never had a problem with them. I had a Stoeger Cougar, which was the Turkish-made version of the Beretta Cougar, built on Beretta tooling in Turkey, and that was a fine gun. There was nothing wrong with that. It was an all-metal gun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. Like I said, it's not. I'm not getting excited for some of this stuff because it's like everything else that's already out there. I almost wish these companies would put this time and money into something just more innovative. I think we need to develop some sort of new ammunition or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a spoiled baby. I don't know. But yeah,
you think maybe that STR stands for straight total ripoff?
I mean, every polymer gun seems to copy each other these days, and
so
I don't know. Yeah.
So if you think about firearm design,
yeah,
there were striker guns pre-World War I. The designs since then have not changed. The implementation of the designs have. So nothing's new in firearms in 100 years, pretty much. Commercially viable.
Kind of technically, both action rifles are striker fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the 100% are. It's the same concept, except how you actuate that striker.
Yeah, my Martini Henry striker fired. That's from 1887.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing a lot of in these designs as I go through this article. There's a ton of these AR pattern shotguns that are starting to come out now, tactical shotguns, and then you're also starting to see a lot more of the precision tactical rifles being released by either independent companies or major companies that are now making them. You've got that, pistol style grip on the bolt action gun. I mean, I'm seeing just like a dozen of these things coming out now. It's crazy. But again, does it make me want to go buy something? Not really, unless I'm going to get into some sort of like different caliber or something like that. I want to share this with you guys real quick. I want to get you. This is, to me, this is kind of my idea of some innovation. This is kind of an area that I think that the industry's been lacking. Check this out. The Iron Horse Firearms Tor. It's got the thumb operated receiver. So for somebody who does not have fingers or has had hand injuries or grip issues, you can fire it with your thumb. I thought that's kind of cool. To me, that is something that is new and innovative in my opinion. I mean, the fact that you don't have to have a traditional trigger for somebody that you're thinking of battle injured people, for veterans that might be injured, or anybody in general. This actually interests me more than just about anything else that I've seen so far.
That would be like the sidearm of an M2 gunner, then, right?
Yeah, I don't know. What?
You use your thumbs to shoot it.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, just, the idea of the intention for this, and they're doing that as just the receiver by itself or the whole gun. But again, it's the design before it was for people that might have some sort of injuries or don't have a regular grip, or ambidextrous too on top of it. So
before the whole, how do I want to say this? But before if you could do anything for someone that is disabled, do it in companies. None of these ideas really would come along. But now we realize that just because someone is missing a finger or two does not mean that they're not going to enjoy getting out and shooting. Yeah. So you have to. Yeah. So because the corporate wide world is like, okay, we have to do anything reasonable for our disabled employees. Individual people are starting to think about that whenever it comes to their friends or family or someone they know that has, shown an interest in the sport. What can I do to help them get into the sport? Because if you're a shooter and you're actually in this industry and wanting more and more people to get into this industry, not for a profit, not for your profit, but just to get people out there and shooting, you will start to think of different ways to actuate triggers. You'll think of different ways to stabilize firearms so people can enjoy this this freedom we have, or this hobby, this right, whatever your hot topic is. And that's where innovation comes from. You see a problem, how can I solve it? And it's not big corporations that solve it. It's individuals that solve this stuff.
I actually have something I would like to, I guess, request for all of you who are going to SHOT Show. Anybody in the panel or anybody who listens to this afterwards, while you're out at SHOT Show, if you get a chance to talk to some of these major manufacturers, whether it's firearms or accessories or ammo or whatever, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel every year, I'd just like to have more people, as many people as we can, different people come at them all week long with the same question. Why are we not going to see more of the major companies spend more money, more time and effort into defending our rights instead of always trying to come up with, the newest Glock 17?
Well, hell, I can explain that. Because when our gun rights are threatened, they make a lot more money.
You're right, but I would like to put them on the spot and everybody just blitz them with this question, so where they understand that, the consumer wants to know that you have our back. not that you're only in this to line your pocket.
Well,
Okay, so Sandhills, you give me an idea, because me and Patriot in the Dark go back and forth. We're more or less having fun with it. We're not serious. But he's into writing letters and sending emails, and I'm not, and we give each other crap over it on air just for fun. But maybe the next time I write a letter, I should write a letter to Ruger, or I should write a letter to Remington or Hornady or to Winchester. It's just the list just goes on and on. Maybe instead of writing to my senator, who doesn't really give a crap, maybe I should write to the people that I give my money indirectly to, and say, hey, man, I've been buying your product for years. I love your product. I can't wait to see the next one, except this year everything's boring. But could you please please take your deep pockets and your big bank accounts and all your corporate lawyers and actually do something for us?
So even better yet, instead of saying, hey, I've been buying your product for years, they already have your money. Just say, hey, I'm looking into, three different guns. And I like to do research on the companies that I give my money to, and I see that, let's say you're going, let's say you're looking for a Springfield Glock and a
High Point,
and or three very similar guns. I was thinking, a Springfield XD, a Glock 19, and then
M&P.
M&P, yes, thank you. And say,
yeah, there you go.
And then send something to Springfield saying, hey, I'm in the market of these three guns. I like to do my research. I am not going to buy your product because you do this or you do that.
Because it's not made in America.
Well, no, that.
Well, yeah, and Springfield's already proven that they're not really for our rights, because remember them and Rock River Arms kind of.
Yeah, I'm already
not
buying that one.
The made in America, that doesn't bother me. But my money's going to a company in America. Yeah, it's all going to go overseas, for some point, at some point. So yeah, go and say, I'm not, I was looking at these three firearms. I see that, Glock does GSSF to promote gun rights. They are gun shooting, and I've seen that they have donated to this organization and this organization, and I've seen that Smith & Wesson has done this and that, and you have done this. Do research on the guns. Yes, it'll take you a longer time to write this letter, but actually have facts and go, this is why, because of your inactivity or you not supporting the gun industry, or not supporting our rights, you are now not going to be in the running to get my money. I will take my money elsewhere, because
I think
that means
you might want to include
profit.
You might want to include something in there, and I don't consider giving money to the NRA as you supporting the Second Amendment. It would be nice if some of these companies would take their big bucks and maybe advertise on national TV, have short commercials, and they're not pushing their product. They're not pushing their brand. They're showing people enjoying firearms. They're showing families at the gun range together. They're showing somebody who's getting their concealed carry permit for the first time because they don't want to be a victim anymore. They're showing people responsibly handling firearms. They're showing people going to the gun shows to get this antique that they've been wanting for 20 years, or something positive that we all know because we live it, that the general public doesn't know because the media vilifies us. So being able to combat them on their own platform, on TV, would be great.
Well, you mentioned it last night, and I thought it was pretty interesting listening to you talk about it. They're definitely going to fall back on I gave $1 million to the NRA this year. What did you do? How much money did you give? We are fighting for your rights by sending money to the NRA.
And my opinion to that would be, I spent money in ammo. I employed people in this industry. I gave this company and this company and this company. I bought their product so they could then afford to give that $1 million to
So
a company.
you bought LaPierre and Cox a new boat or whatever.
Yeah, I would refute that with saying I went to this rally or that rally, or I went to gun shows and actually started discussions about, contacting our lawmakers and getting our rights back or not trickling away our rights. I didn't simply throw money at the one organization who has proven to give our rights away.
I wrote so many letters to my congressman. We're on a first name basis.
Right. I actually did something that mattered instead of throwing money at the organization that doesn't do anything. So what did your $1 million do
the
compared to what our rally did?
The NRA absolutely does something. Absolutely 100%. They get into the ears of congressmen to trample on our rights.
Well, right. And okay, let's differentiate again. The NRA does great stuff at keeping kids safe
It's the
and
ILA.
teaching safety and everything else. The ILA is the turncoat side of it.
So getting back to going to the SHOT Show and saying, okay, what have you been doing for our rights and stuff like that? Also ask them, has there been? Oh, geez, well, I had a good point and I just forgot it. Never mind. I'll remember it sometime.
Hey, real quick, can we let Gary introduce himself?
Hey,
Gary's been sitting there patiently, so.
Gizzard does not need an introduction. He's
right.
Yes, I do.
Once you see the bird, you know you're getting the bird.
He's up there hovering, ready to attack.
Hovering.
Yeah,
He's circling. The rooster circles like a hawk. Wait a minute. Can they fly? Yeah. Short distances circling.
Short distances, about maybe 5 or 6 feet off.
There you go. There
That's
you
pretty
go.
much all the flying I can do. And even that's painful anymore. I tell you what.
So Gary, real quick, what's new on your channel? What's new in your world, man? How you doing?
What's new in my channel, in my world? Let's see. Well, most people know, but I do have a weekly show, Foul Territory. It's on Friday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central.
Okay.
Website is gizzardgary.com. And I'm an old guy, just recently in the last 4 years or so, getting into handguns and loving every bit of it and trying to evangelize and spread the word.
So are you going to get a Taurus TX22?
I'm pretty darn sure I am.
Me too. Peer pressure. If I get one, you got to get one and vice
So
versa.
what's that TX22? I saw a little bit on that.
Yeah. Semi-automatic. I'll be quick about it. Semi-automatic, basically 17 ounce, 22, not blowback, has a traditional tilting barrel, striker fired with a single action pull, but double action function like a Glock. It's going to have 2 mags that come with it. It is going to have a end cap you can unscrew, so you can screw on a thread for a suppressor.
Okay.
Adjustable sights on the rear, MSRP $349. Basically, it's just kind of I'd call it a mid-size, maybe 22, but they've tested the heck out of it, so it's not going to be finicky with ammo. They've really put it through its paces. Seems like a pretty solid pistol, man.
The mags hold 16 rounds each.
Yeah, 16 plus 1.
That's
imagine 16 rounds of mini mag, the kind of damage you could do with something like that. If
wait, it's a 22 mag,
22 LR.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'd be cool if they did a mag version though. That'd go after the PMR 30.
Yeah.
What's the MSRP on it? Have they announced that part?
$349.
Oh, geez, wow.
So it'll probably be $300 once it actually hits the shelf. So it's I did put a little video out on it. There's about 4 videos out, and Taurus put out an awesome video where they actually show it being fired. They show them taking it apart. It's pretty cool, man. It looks like a sweet little gun. Yeah.
4.1 inch barrel. It ought to be fairly decent at the range to plank.
Oh, yeah, velocity 4.1 inch. Yeah.
You said it had tilting barrel. Did it have locking lugs on top of it, or was it just a blowback tilting barrel?
Well, I mean, the barrel does not lock into the frame of the pistol. It is in the slide with the captive guide rod above it, just like any other semi-automatic pistol.
Right,
I mean,
right. But I mean, it can still be a blowback, direct.
Well,
blowback.
when I think of when I think of a blowback mechanism, I'm thinking that it's fixed to the frame. I'm almost thinking that's
right.
What I'm thinking of, but yeah,
you can still have the Browning tilting barrel just to make feeding. So the whole thing with the tilting barrel, number one, you need it for lockup in a gun to clear your the blocking mechanism, but it also acts as another thing. It brings that barrel down more in line with your feeding mechanism.
But
So
every
with 20
22 pistol I've ever fired does not have that kind of a mechanism. They've all been fixed in the frame. So
correct. And if you look, they have a huge feed ramp to overcome that. But if
Yep.
you have a tilting barrel, you don't need that bigger feed ramp, and you bring that barrel closer to the nose of that bullet, so you'll have more reliable feeding from the magazine and getting that a bullet into the chamber where it's needed.
okay.
Just real quick off to the side, talking about firearms rights and stuff like that. I get a bunch of emails from Donald Trump, the campaign, and all that. I just got an email that wanted me to sign a anniversary card, their 14th anniversary for him and Melania. So I did. I signed it. I started off at the top. I said happy anniversary and many more to come. And then I wrote in stop the attack on our Second Amendment rights, and I sent it. So every time he sends me an email for the past, I don't know, month, I answer what the email talks about, and I put in there stop attacking our Second Amendment rights. So if you guys get those emails from the Trump campaign, throw it in there and let him know. Not that he's ever going to see it, but still.
There we go, man. Oh, here's the takedown on it real quick. There you go, guys. Check it out. See that?
So it's not tilting barrel.
Well, I mean, the barrel's got the lug on it, like you'd see.
What? Where? Go
Here, let me
back.
go back real quick here. It's got, you can see it in the when he takes it apart here. Here. Reverse just a little bit. Let me go here. Check it out.
So no, that is, I don't see any lug on that.
Right there in the front.
That is all that does is
Just
hold
use it.
the
Okay.
spring.
So is it really? Is it blowback? Or, I mean, not that it really matters.
It's a blowback.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Go back a little bit more. Or
there we go.
okay. So, I don't see where that's
Right there.
I don't know. No,
That wouldn't allow it to tilt once on the frame.
I don't think
Lug there.
Well, that's for the spring. I guess I'd have to look inside the frame and see if there is a ramp that goes, because there is that little slit there.
What I'll do is I'll put they have the here. You can download the instruction manual.
Okay.
And you can. I'll share this with you guys. You can check out the part schematic, Foos, and you can see what you think. But I don't want to blow the audience. But yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the design is pretty cool.
The 22 I have, it's made by Walther, but it's in a shrouded hammer, the M&P 22. That's one I have. It eats pretty much anything. That's my
for the thing. For the thing to be blowback, it needs to be fixed barrel.
No, it doesn't.
That's not.
Absolutely no.
Uh-oh.
You can have blowback without a fixed barrel.
It's a cool gun, and I want one.
There we go. Here we go. Gary ends the argument.
Don't make fun of my gun I don't even have yet.
So he's talking about the TS9. Yeah, that's the striker fire. What's cool about the Taurus TS9, I won't bring pictures up. I mentioned this earlier, but the TS9 is on the Taurus Brazil catalog for 2019, and it does say a new gun. So in Brazil, the Brazilian market, it is being released. It's been tested quite a bit, and I don't know if it's ever going to make it to the U.S. It'd be cool because it doesn't have safeties on it. It looks, again, Glock clone essentially. High capacity.
This is what I wanted to see. See this block right here?
Okay.
That goes into, see right here, this little gap right there?
Yeah.
That is your tilting action, because as all this slide starts to go back, this is cut at an angle. And then this is also cut at an angle, which you can barely see because I'm zoomed in, but they will interact, and that will get your tilting barrel action.
Nice.
So it is tilting.
I mean, what I like is just the capacity, and under $300. That's going to be the big one, because I'd love to get like an SR22, but they're a little pricey. I think they're close to 400 or 350, 375. And then, and if it's not ammo finicky, that's going to be the big thing. If it'll eat any 22 LR ammo, you can run through it. That's it right there. So the GSD Firefly, the one that I've taken out, it is ammo finicky. I know they're not all, but this one would only really run mini mags through it. I couldn't really run anything else through it efficiently.
So yeah. Companies that do 22s and only have one striker on it, I don't understand why they only have one. They need to have more than one striker on 22s, just because the rimfire is inherently less
reliable to go off,
Thank
I guess you could say.
Thank you.
I want to show this to you guys too. The funny part is on these videos I've been posting about the SHOT Show guns, the one that's actually gotten the most interest is this guy. I know you guys were talking about on Match Chat Wednesday night. The S333 Volley Fire Thunderstruck fires 2 shots at one time. It's got 2 barrels, and it's got this. They were talking on, and it is just a single trigger, and it does have a blade safety in it. This does not. It has 2 separate hammers, so maybe that's how they're able to get around NFA rules.
So
not designating it as a machine gun.
Probably what it is, it's the first round will probably light off halfway through the trigger pull that actuates one trigger, and then after that one it separates and then it actuates the second trigger. That's the only thing I could think of to get around the ATF law, because since each one is an individual trigger, each one or hammer mechanism, if they interact separately but still on the same trigger pull,
here we go.
That could still be a thing.
There we go. That's the front of it right there. This is the volley fire, which is the knot, and we can't tell if this photo is just like a filter that's on it, or if it actually has, that they call it the Thunderstruck, because it has kind of a blue kind of stormy cloud finish on it, or almost like a case hardened finish on it. I don't know. I mean, they don't exactly say why it's called what it is, because it looks just like the S333.
Well, the day that they were naming it, they were naming it, they had AC/DC on the radio.
This is possible. So this is 369 for the base version of it.
Wait, hold on. They're from Brazil. The early 80s is just now hitting them.
Oh, okay. No, Thunderstruck was 91, wasn't it? Because I think I was in high school when that album came out. When Thunderstruck came out, it wasn't the album. I think it was Razor's Edge was the album, wasn't it?
I don't know. Whenever that song came out, I was still listening to the country, and then I wised up.
Double barrel, double action revolver, 2 rounds fired with each pull of the trigger, 70-75 aircraft grade aluminum with anodized finish, integrated articulated trigger safety, transfer bar blocks, firing pins from hammers. So yeah, that is interesting. I mean that
hammers.
Yeah, hammer
things. Hammers.
Yeah, to conceal. So that's it. That's how they're able to do it, right? It says a deliberate. Okay. The S333 features an articulated safety. It says it requires a deliberate and full pull of the trigger before the transfer bar will clear from the firing pins and hammers. Again, must be able to just not have to worry about the rules of NFA then. But the funny thing is, like I said, this little guy right here is generating more buzz on my video than any of the other guns I've talked about in the other 3 parts right now, which is kind of funny. Everybody's like, I'm intrigued by this thing. I think a lot of people just want to fire one. Kind of what's the kick on 22 mag rounds going to feel like when they go off? I'm curious if that's going to buck a little bit or not.
So I highly doubt they're going to go off at the same time.
Wouldn't they have to for the timing though, or not?
I don't know. Well, I mean, the lockup in the cylinder will be done before either round goes off.
Yeah, they could have a slightly delayed hammer, I suppose, like just a millisecond from the other one on the timing. But
still, man, with that one going off, the second one will be so high. Will be high and stuff like that. That would be interesting.
That was my question too. Like, is this thing gonna have any muzzle flip at all? Because they're not gonna go to the same spot.
Yeah, and if it's a Magnum, that Magnum for a light gun, it's still gonna have some recoil.
And there's hardly any barrel on it, so there's gonna be nothing but muzzle flip, you'd think.
Hey, it's gonna be interesting.
Okay, now what do you guys think of this one? The new Mossberg MC1 SC. I know it's not. It does sound like a rapper name. It's not. I mean, we've been hearing about this one for days. They're going to have like 5 different versions of it. One extended mag for 7 rounds. You go 7+1 or 6+1 with the flush fit. Flat face trigger. I think a lot of people are going to buy it just because it's Mossberg's. You know, Mossberg fans will probably pick them up because it's their first gun, first pistol in 100 years compared to the Brownie that they released. MSRP 421, so they're definitely going after the shield territory because you're looking more like at 350 to 375. Now that's for the base model though. They go up from there. If you want the True Glow sights or if you want the Centennial model, you pay much more for it. So I don't know. Would you guys ever consider picking up something like this at all?
Nope.
Do
No?
they make it in a full size? I'm not a big fan
No.
of the subcompacts.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's specifically going after Shield fans, basically.
I think it's neat that it's got the transparent magazines. Those are cool, and it's a nice looking gun. But
That's
I'd buy it if I came across it, but I wouldn't actively go out to get it just because I'm not into the subcompacts.
Yeah.
Did
I'm
did
not a
you say
subcon.
that the flush fit's a 6 round
Yeah,
and
6
the
round.
extended a 7?
Yeah.
They're not going after Shield then because my flush fit's a 7 round and my extended's an 8.
Oh, it is.
So
Okay,
it's
okay.
going after Glock 20, Glock.
Well,
42.
the size, the single stack, the overall
That's what I'm saying,
form
the
factor of
42,
it's going to
yeah.
fit a category. I when I say go after, I mean that they're maybe looking at people that might be considering buying a Shield or maybe
So
want something else. Yeah.
So this is basically a pocket carry gun, right? That size.
I don't know what
Fits in
the
your
actual
pocket.
weighs. It weighs 16 ounces.
So absolutely yes.
Yeah.
16 ounces. That's a pound. That is stupid light for a gun.
Now, if Mag Guts would come out with the new follower replacement to add an extra round in there, the magguts.com, somebody was trying to get me to get one for my EC9S. They make one for that also where you can add an extra round, but it's about a $30 or $40 kit, but it allows one extra round of carry with just as good. You have a replacement spring and everything with it that's designed to function. I know it's kind of cool. Obviously I'm never going to say that it's bad that somebody introduces a new firearm to the market. They're also making it with a funky crossbolt safety behind the trigger, which is going to be kind of unusual.
You're locked on me.
Oh no. Oops. Sorry about that. Everybody's like, wait a minute, we can't see the gun, man. Or take that off.
Well, I mean,
all right.
I'm just so pretty. I mean, you got
guys. Thanks. I had no idea. I'm running this off one. Here, guys. Here's that Mossberg MC1 SC. There you go. My bad. And again, I think the whole world's probably already seen it. I'm probably not going to pick one up. I'd like to just handle one and see what they feel like and stuff. But I'm totally happy with my EC9S, and I've got I think a 6 or 7 round capacity. Gary, what's the capacity on our guns? LC9S, EC9S. What is that? Is that 6 or 7?
Those are 7 plus 1. Yeah.
Got mine right here. Yeah, 7 plus 1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I was just to see if there's anything else that looks good. I was kind of just buzzing through it. There's your LCRX 357 mag. Interesting little offering there. A Q5 match SF. This is going to be the next gun right here. That's what he's going to be shooting with an all steel frame. I don't know. Did you guys hear anything or see anything about? There's a new car. There's a new car G48, and there's the new car G43X.
Another one that named
If you guys are car single stack, no, they basically car CT9. The car CT9, guys. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
That looks like they went farther back and copied a real Sigma.
This is single, and the fact it's a single stack with a two-tone. I mean, if you hold up a CT9 right next to it, it basically looks the same. I mean, but it's on the cars are only $300.
Again, no technology. Technology hasn't progressed in firearms. Everyone's copying each other. It's the way they're being implemented. Because
let's just cover our butts right now and say this. So if you want to buy one, do it. You want to carry one, go ahead. We would never. We're just criticizing
at least you're
for not coming up with something new and innovative. That's what we want, man. I want tasers, man, or phasers or whatever.
So new and innovative guns are going to stay the same until the cartridge fundamentally changes. We are at a pinnacle of firearms design until that change. If you look at black powder, yes, they went from flintlock to the matchlock, flintlock, then percussion. Percussion is what was around for a long time until they got the metallurgy for cartridges, and then dramatically changed. And then while we could seal up that breach, gunpowder, smokeless powder was invented. Again, fundamental change. Unless there's a fundamental change to ammunition, the guns were at a pinnacle. It's just going to be a rehashing of everything for the past 110 years.
And maybe I'm sure we're going to see some completely new releases that'll probably gain our interest that won't be announced until SHOT itself. I mean, that's just how SHOT works, and there's going to be more stuff that's going to trickle out now too.
You go back to that caseless powder, caseless round in the
H&K
80s,
yeah.
That if that technology takes off, that they're find a way to chemically do that, with the powder, that could possibly change. But there are still a lot of heat issues and stuff like that. But until we no longer throw a projectile down, I almost said lead, but some aren't lead, but projectile downrange, and it actually becomes a different form of
round, I guess. Slug or something,
round.
or
Well, it's not gonna be slug.
what would you even call it?
Projectile, because it's not gonna be a projectile. It'll be some energy or laser
I'm not going to be happy until we get plutonium nitrate multi-explosive sound-seeking projectiles.
You know what? We don't have that right now, but we do have this. The Henry Long Ranger and 6.5 Creedmoor. There you go, Tony. It's time to step up your game, buddy. Lever action 6.5. You know you want one, Tony. Huh. Tony's like speechless. What the hell is that?
He'd probably prefer the lever action version.
The lever action, yes. I like this. I just don't know if it's going to have some iron sights on, or if it's going to strictly be some weaver mounts on the top of that thing. I have no idea. It's kind of cool though. It's only $1,066.
What? Huh?
$1,066 for that.
For that lever action
magazine.
Yeah, the Henry Long Ranger. I keep wanting to say Lone Ranger. Long Ranger, 22-inch barrel, 6.5 Creedmoor, lever action.
Wow,
that's MSRP.
I have not been interested in 6.5 Creedmoor at all, but that offering there might get me into the cartridge, maybe.
22-inch barrel, man, you're good to go. Oh, here comes Foos, voice of reason. Come on, Foos, talk some sense into us, because some of us like this.
I think lever guns and modern ammunition, it's a novelty. It's going to be for people that like the lever action,
or like that cartridge and want to try something different.
Yeah.
Savage started that trend in 1899.
Yeah.
I'm liking this one right here, John. Here's your next rifle, John. I'm gonna make sure you pick up one of these at or Sandhills. I'm gonna make sure you pick up one of these at Tulsa next year. Okay. It's your Browning semi-automatic.
Is that the Hills Canyon bar?
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, buddy.
I was just going to say that looks like a Brownie.
Yep. Bar Mark III. Oh, damn, that thing is so sweet. I'm sorry, that's just cool. If
it fires and it's functions, someone's going to buy it.
I like
the
it.
only thing better than that would be to have an M1918 bar.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that thing doesn't.
Okay, guys, it's a BAR. Okay.
Yeah, BAR. I know.
No, I don't know. I knew a guy that was a frogman in Vietnam, and he called it a bar, and he carried one. So I figured.
Was it the Steyr AUG or the Steyr AUG? We could debate this for hours. There's not enough time left in this world for us to enjoy that. So look at all the chambers, though, man. They got 243, 7mm odd 8, 308 Winchester, 270, 300, 270, John. Or Sandhills. God, I keep going back to your name. 270 Sandhills.
It's okay. My mama called me John. It was okay.
Yeah. 30-06, 7mm Remington mag. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, hey, David, here's your optics ready. Now they're saying an MSRP of $789, which is ridiculous. It should be more like maybe a 600. David, how much did you pay for your Ruger 5.56? How much was it?
I paid a lot for mine because the gun store that I went to was terrible, and I didn't know any better, so I paid $800 for mine.
Okay.
And it doesn't have a flash suppressor or a adjustable stock, but it does have the A2 front sight, fixed front sight.
Okay. They'll probably offer this in a Maryland-friendly version, I'm sure.
See, that's the problem that I have with Ruger is, like, the precision line is really nice, and if I had the money to just go out and buy something now, I'd go get the 338, but it's like $1,500.
Yeah.
I can't justify spending that much money. And the same gun right now that I bought and paid $800 for, you can go get all the bells and whistles with, and pay probably $600 for it now.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, I mean, hopefully it's a little bit less, but this one's kind of cool. The Steyr monoblock. It's got the barrel and receiver. They're made out of a single sheet of steel, single block of steel. Like that one. That's pretty cool. Again, not just trying to cover just Bud rifles, but Steyr Scout and 6.5. I like Steyrs, but man, they're pricey, man. You got to have the money ready to go. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's a little bullpup shotgun. $649 for MSRP on that.
Real quick, what makes a bullpup a bullpup? Like, I've never looked into them. I don't know anything about them. I just know if I see one, that's one.
Well, we were going to have a discussion on them today, but I decided to wait because I figured the SHOT Show stuff would probably overshadow it. But yeah,
bullpup is action. The actual action of the firearm is at the back.
Well, it's just behind the trigger mechanism.
Yeah, the trigger sits in front of the receiver.
Everything's back. All the fun happens back here. The idea is you can have a much more compact overall length, but still have a full-length barrel, basically.
Or we could just call it the junk in the trunk.
There we go. Yeah, junk's in the trunk. There you go. So yeah, the idea behind it is just a more compact design. I don't know if you've got a few countries that have developed them, a few different models that have been around for quite a while.
So basically, they took a traditional firearm and go, well, behind the action, there is all this wasted space. That is the stock. If you can make the stock do something else, let's do it. So they just moved everything back, moved the trigger group forward. You still have to have your 26 inches to be a firearm. You still have to be a 16-inch barrel. So there are some legal restrictions on bullpups here in the U.S.
Yeah,
but it's the same. It's to get your, maybe a lot of these guys, what they're doing is they're doing 18-inch barrels instead of 16 inches. So you're getting 18-inch barrels. People are like, oh, that's a match barrel, or sometimes even 20-inch barrels. And you could do that and still be a short overall appearance. And it brings the weight of the gun closer to the human body.
Okay, better balance overall.
And this is just coming from a guy just looking at shit. I've never fired a bullpup. Well, yeah, I have. I fired IWI once.
Yeah,
but
the one complaint I've heard
it.
about those is the length. The triggers are, I don't think they're bad, but people complain about them because you got the long trigger bars that go all the way back into the receiver. So sometimes people complain about the just the amount of grittiness in the trigger or just the inconsistency.
As long as you pull the trigger straight back,
yeah,
the grittiness, yeah, it may feel crazy on your finger, but as long as you pull the trigger straight back, it's not going to affect accuracy.
Yeah.
I mean, a human could overcome so many different obstacles when it comes to a simple machine, i.e., firearm.
Yeah, the only bullpup I ever shot was the FAMAS, and I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I would love to get my hands on an AUG sometime, though, because I can't think of one. I know that they must have had them before that, but that was the first one I could ever remember seeing.
You mean an AUG?
An AUG?
Oh, an AUG.
So it's a BAR, but it's an AUG. Can we have a little consistency?
It's just like it's an FAL.
Oh, a foul?
Okay.
Oh.
Don't worry. I'll school you guys. Don't worry.
Now we got to spend time.
Well, I mean,
acronyms.
the elders do have to school us. So
I just figured that the BAR is a bar because it was a military firearm, and the military loves acronyms, and they don't spell out crap.
So
no, that's not true. Certain things you say the letters, and other things you turn it into you say it phonetically. It just depends on what it is.
I have a joke for you. Three Germans walk into a bar.
My uncles?
3 Germans walk into a bar.
All right, go ahead.
Poor guys.
3 Germans walk into a bar. That's
I smell the freedom already.
It's a World War II joke.
Oh.
3 Germans walk into a bar.
Walk into a bar. That was probably my uncles. Let's hope. Now, I guess, no, they're not my uncles. I don't want to associate myself with those people. Let's just get that out right now.
You could associate yourself with Germans and the Wehrmacht. That's fine. Don't associate yourself with the Nazis.
Yeah. So now they're debating acronyms in the chat, guys. Good job. Is it FAMAS or is it FAMAS? By the way, it's not sports shooter ammunition. It's SA. No, it's SA. I'll buy ammo from SA. Right?
I don't mind any of that stuff as long as you know a lever is a lever and a grand is a grand.
Oh, no, it's a libre.
It's a lever and a grenade.
So Swee's got a question. Swee's 778. I just want to know, is 2019 the year Sky finally releases the CPX3? That's their 380. They've been talking about that. I don't think it's even on their website anymore. They might have taken down the articles on it. I don't know if the CPX3 is ever going to come out. The one thing about it, the 380 version of the CPX2 is basically the same size. It was almost identical in size and form factor as the CPX2. So what's the point of really carrying it? Is the reduction in recoil really going to be that noticeable?
Here's what you got to do. You need to be a patron of Travis P11 on Patreon, because he always puts out the videos there before he puts them up on YouTube.
Yep.
And you've been such a good spokesperson for Sky this last year that I expect you're going to get the first CPX3, and we're going to see it on your channel before we do.
No, you cannot pay me. Okay, now I've said it before. I would consider trying another Sky product just to see if they've changed, because it's been a year now since I've actually fired mine, and I carried mine for 3 years. I would consider trying another one just to see if they've improved at all. I know the triggers are going to be the same. I mean, the quality and the fit and the finish.
So when you test the new Sky, because you will, are you going to show the receipt on at the end of the video to show everybody that they don't have
Sky would probably be the last person that Sky would give a firearm to. I really do.
I'd like to send the first one to you just to try and get back in your good graces.
I don't spit hate about their gun. I just spit dislike for a firearm that fell apart within 1,000 rounds, and it was my daily carry, and it didn't go bang.
They send you a gun and a dozen red roses and an apology note.
I don't think Sky throws around a bunch of sponsors.
If they fly me out to their factory, I don't know if they're in Florida. I thought they were moving to Tennessee or something. If they fly me out there and you see me do a video of a factory tour, you know I'm in Sky's pocket at that point. So big money Sky.
No, you're not in their pocket. You're in their bed.
I'm in big Sky country, and it ain't Wyoming. Or is it Montana? I don't even know. Montana. Okay. I don't know other states.
Vandalistica says it's pronounced sucky.
Sucky? I shoot ammo through my sucky handgun. That's right. Hey, Sky handguns, honestly, they're not for everyone.
Who are they for exactly?
200 people looking for a $200 cheap gun, I suppose, or throwaway pocket carry. I don't know.
But there's good $200 cheap guns. That's the point.
Yes, with better triggers.
Star BM.
Exactly. You know, and again, I'm talking to somebody who's purchased 3 CPX2s and carried one for 3 years. I have a right to hate on it because they got my money and they left me, with a gun that wouldn't function. So, I had a warranty repair, but
I'm pretty sure Travis would rather carry a Kel-Tec than a Sky at this point.
Do you ever notice every chat I've ever done, it always comes back to a CPX2 at one point or another? You know,
you could be carrying a Makarov, but wait.
Oh my God! I got my Mac.
He has it.
It's floating around here somewhere. I got the patch.
You've already lost the Mac?
No, my cat ran off with it. I got to find it. It was sitting on the. I had my gun channels patch on the table. And I had my Makarov patch on the table last night because I was going to put the gun channels patch on my Every Second Matters hat and wear that, and it's gone. They're gone. The cat and the dog they're kind of partners in crime. The cat will knock stuff off, and the dog will run off with it, or the cat will run off with it, and then I find it like mixed in the dog toys. So that's how they operate in our house. So yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah, man.
Let's say you have 2 companies. And one company has a lifetime warranty on a firearm, and the other company has no warranty on a firearm.
Okay.
Which one would you go with?
I'm going to buy the one that has the proven track record that's going to have the lower failure rate is what I would go with. Mm-hmm. Warranty doesn't mean squat if it doesn't go bang when you need it to.
The only thing I pay attention to with the warranty is if it has a 1-year warranty, then I need to get that thing down to the range right away and start running ammo through it to break it in or break it before the warranty runs out. If it's got a lifetime warranty, I can let it sit in the safe and get to it whenever I feel like it. When I get a new gun, I don't run out to the range and shoot it. I just don't have that sort of time. So if I've only got a 1-year warranty and I'm 6 months in and I shoot it for the first time and it starts having issues, they don't necessarily add time to the warranty. Like if they have the gun for 2 months while they're fixing the warranty, they don't extend your warranty 2 months. they go, oh, well, it's from the time of purchase or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, but you had it 2 months out of that first year. So that's something to be conscious of.
Now, just as a little interest point here for people, you know, the new Tauruses have a 1-year warranty. Well, anything made after January 2017 is a 1-year warranty. Glocks only have a 1-year warranty too. A lot of people think Glocks have a lifetime warranty or a 3-year or 5-year warranty. Ruger's, Tony, we talked about this before. Ruger says that they won't give a specific warranty period when you buy a gun because they're not legally bound to. But if your Ruger fails, you send it in for repair. That's what it says in the manual of the Rugers I've read. And you could check me on that if I'm wrong, but
Ruger's got about the best customer service as far as their warranty.
Tony's experienced it firsthand himself. So yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I actually abused the gun, and I admitted to them that I did it.
So
Fixed it for nothing.
my whole reasoning for that question is,
Yeah.
if they say, hey, this gun has a lifetime warranty, to me that says, number one, I'm marketing to someone that doesn't shoot their guns, and my quality is so low that in X amount of years it's going to break. Someone that doesn't have a warranty, again, this is me because of my sports shooting and how many rounds I've put down. It's like, my gun is solid enough. I don't need a warranty because I know the gun works.
And here's the funny thing about that warranty. There's a lot of people that still leave comments on my Sky videos, and it always pops up. Great gun, great price, lifetime warranty. Everybody throws lifetime warranty in their comments on the videos. I look at as many comments as I can, and that is a selling point for the gun. But people need to do it. I didn't do enough research on it when I bought it because I was sold on the Suits review and the Iraqi veteran review. That's what sold me. I'm like, man, this thing's great, and went out and bought it.
So are you going to buy a truck, either Ford, Chevy, or Dodge? Let's say you like all these. Are you going to buy a Dodge because of the full, lifetime powertrain warranty? No.
Oh, that's a good point, because it might go in the shop a dozen times a year like the new Rams are, right?
No, but I mean, it really depends on the thing. I mean, with tools, if you use your tools to earn a living, you want the tools with a lifetime warranty that are quality American made. You know, but if you're just, using them around the house, you don't need to buy Snap-on tools for around the house. So I think it really just depends on what it is. I always get the extended warranty when I buy a vehicle. I can fix my own vehicles, but I'd rather not. The extended warranties have paid for themselves every time I've bought them. They've been worth every penny.
I did get an extended warranty on my truck just because I've had it for a year and a half, and I'm out of the 36,000 miles.
With
That's the only
warranties,
reason.
though, always keep in mind, no matter if it's a 1-year warranty, a lifetime warranty, a powertrain warranty, whatever it is, a warranty is as good as the company that backs it.
Yes.
If
They go out of business, or if they go, that's not covered by the warranty, and you're like, are you kidding? Yeah,
Right.
there is those, yeah.
So,
And
so
for all the warranties that they sell that nobody uses, that's where they put the money in their pocket.
rather than, especially with firearms, rather than worry about who says how long their warranty lasts, do your research again, look it up, talk to people like Tony who have had good experiences with Ruger, even when, it wasn't covered under what would be normally covered by a warranty, and they took care of him. They know he's going to tell people, and they're going to be expected to do it again. But buy from the company that treats people like that. And I know that there's others, not just Ruger, but buy from the companies that will fix your stuff for you.
Back to the Sky, I think that the Sky's actual intended market is somebody who's never, ever going to shoot that gun 1,000 times.
Agreed. Fully agreed. And
Okay.
if that gun ever does make 1,000 rounds in the next 10 years, they'll replace it.
But here's the deal, though. As somebody who wants to practice with a gun that is as difficult to shoot as the CPX2 because of the 10-pound trigger, you need to practice with it. But how can you practice with it if it's not going to function after 1,000 rounds? That's just 10 trips to the range over. Well, yeah, okay.
But then you're at a $400 gun.
Yeah, okay. Now I could have got myself a trade-in M&P or Glock and not have to worry about it.
Right.
But their market target market is somebody who's going to shoot that thing maybe one magazine,
Yeah,
load through it and throw it in a damn drawer somewhere.
I know, and I'm glad that people have that option. I'm glad that they offer that for that price. But as Gary had said, there's a lot of $200 guns out there now too that perform just as well with maybe a better trigger with maybe not equal warranty. But and it's great. I would rather have somebody buy one of those than have nothing at all. I'm just saying I was expecting to get more out of it than 1,000 rounds before it started having issues. My extractor was worn out within 1,000 rounds, and I was having trouble with it feeding stuff. And it was FTE, FTF. Took a guide rod, it took a slide, and it took a new barrel in order for the thing to work. Now, people have told me that they've redesigned the barrel and the feed ramps. They've done something with the angle on it, so maybe they're going to be a little more efficient now. I don't know. Mine was not a Jam-O-Matic, but
still, that's not going to do anything about your trigger.
No, I know. And frame pins came out within the first 50 rounds. On the 3 that I owned, within 100 rounds, frame pins, I already had to order oversized frame pins from Sky. Why couldn't they just fix that in the production run at some point?
So
cost, right?
So whenever it comes to the people that are going to buy a gun and throw it in, like shoot 20 rounds and throw it in a closet somewhere or a drawer, dresser drawer, look at surplus.
Yeah.
They've been around a heck of a lot longer. Yes, they're going to weigh more. Yes, they'll probably shoot softer because they weigh more. And who gives a crap how much it weighs if it's going to spend, all but 30 minutes of its life sitting in your dresser drawer? Who cares about weight?
I would not recommend a Sky because 1, I've never had one in my hands. 2, I don't like that particular size handgun.
Yeah, it's a very small gun. I've shot one. A friend of mine bought it, and she's like, I need to learn how to shoot this. This was before, this is the CPX-1 before.
With the safety on it?
Yeah.
They're on the CPX-1, CPX-2 was kind of the second gen. They had an original. I think they all got recalled. The very first Sky pistols that came out because they were more like the Kel-Tec. They're a Kel-Tec design anyway, but the first ones, the CPX-1 and CPX-2 that we see on the website was kind of their Gen 2. And so it depends on how long ago it was you actually tried it, Yeah.
And I contacted her not too long ago. I'm like, hey, do you still have that? Yeah. I'm like, have you ever shot it? Only the rounds you and I put through it.
Okay, here's 2 right here. Go ahead.
5 or 6 years ago.
Gary, you might be able to chime in on this, or anybody else here in the chat. I don't have experience with it. The Ruger LCP, and then also the Spectrum. Sui saying that he passed on it because the trigger reset is awful on the Spectrum. And then opinions on the Ruger LCP. What do you guys think about that? Would you rather go with the LC9 instead, just because the size isn't that much more?
I've never fired any of the LCPs. I've had a chance to handle them, and I hate to go all Security 9 fanboy, but just buy the Security 9. It's small, it fires really well. It's comfortable in your hand.
I'm going to say go with the EC9S. EC9S isn't much larger. It's less than an inch longer and taller overall.
Are we talking about pocket pistols, though? Because size matters. Even a quarter inch matters in a pocket pistol.
Right.
As long as you're not wearing skinny jeans, that Ruger Security 9 will go in any pocket.
Grinderson is saying, any opinions on the Ruger LCP? I personally have not fired one, but the design is similar to the EC9S. And LCP's in 380, right?
Right.
Yeah, 380 ECP, because your LC9s are the 9 version of basically the LCPs.
We do have an LC 380, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I have one of those. It's
So all these real small, 5, 6, 7 shot guns.
Screen share this. Go ahead.
I look at, if you get down to that amount of rounds,
there you go.
Why not start looking at revolvers as well? Because basically you're going to have a gun. You're not going to have extra ammo. So you're going to have 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah, 6 plus 1. So you're 1 round short of carrying a revolver.
I want to point out something, too, that people don't seem to catch about revolvers and semi-autos. And that's a 2-inch barreled revolver and a 2-inch barreled semi-automatic.
Not the same.
Not the same, because you have to take the length of the bullet out of the semi-auto.
Yep.
So a 2-inch is literally like 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches.
No. So a 2-inch barrel in a 9mm. Your 9mm are usually 1.1 change long. So you're looking at less than 1 inch worth of rifling inside that barrel. for a 2-inch barrel.
And now these are 2.75 inches, so you're essentially getting a 2-inch barrel once the shell's loaded into the chamber.
No, you're about 1.5 inches.
Okay, all right.
But
Maybe a
what
little bit more than that, but not much. But if you have a revolver that's a 2-inch barrel,
yeah,
that's a full 2-inch barrel without the cylinder.
And a little
They're
bit
measured
more if you consider the extra end of the cylinder, because the bullets usually don't come to the end of the cylinder.
That's true, but I'm talking about up rifling.
what I was going to say though, I haven't live fired either an LCP or an LCP2, but in dry firing, I do like the trigger on the LCP2 a lot better. And I like the sights a lot better too on that one. So if I was going to buy any of them, I would probably buy either the LCP2 or the Spectrum.
Yeah.
I kind of had my eye on the Spectrum. But
Gary?
Don't do it.
Also, I want to wait until
Chime in, brother Giz.
yeah, people can tell me more about them that have used them. So
Ammo finicky, Gary, what is it? It just wouldn't run. A lot of people have complained that that's one of the few guns I've seen a lot of problems for advertised on
Mine
YouTube.
was light primer strikes.
ooh.
So did you send yours back here and get it repaired? I didn't get a chance to watch your videos on the Spectrum. I just know
No,
you've made
I didn't
references
even
to
dink with it. I unloaded it.
Okay. Yeah, because Sandhills, you and I were looking at them at SHOT Show, or not SHOT Show, Tulsa. We were looking at them at Tulsa. The prices were pretty fair on them too. Now I want to say something real quick, and here I am complaining about being sold on the hype of a gun when I bought the CPX2. I'm buying the Taurus. I'm going to buy the Taurus TX22, knowing that I could have first run problems. I could have issues. I bought one of the first Ruger Ranch rifles, chambered in 7.62 by 39, and it's smoothed out a lot, but it was very rough inside the receiver. I don't know if it was rushed out or they just didn't put as much time into finishing the inside of the receiver, because the bolt was okay, but it's smoothed out a lot since I put hundreds and hundreds of rounds through it. It's much nicer now. But I understand buying this gun. I'm not going to come out in a huge anti-Taurus TX22 tirade if it doesn't run. I'm going to watch some reviews. I'm going to read about it a little bit, go into it with an open mind, knowing that I'm buying a first run. That is a situation you can get yourself into. Hell, it could have a recall on it. Who knows, right? I mean, once it comes out, it could have a problem. It could have issues with it. And I'm different now, my mind, when it comes to testing new guns versus 3 years ago. I mean, understanding this, it's just like buying a new car. If it's a new model year, a completely new production model, you're going to probably get some issues with it being a first-year model because they don't take the time to test the cars like they used to. It's just like software. You are the beta tester as the consumer. You buy the software and you get the bugs and you have to deal with the constant updates and things like that, And so Squib, don't get me wrong. I know cars are tested, but I just don't feel like when it comes to that first year production model, you always see a lot of problems that people have with them initially. A lot of recalls come out on them and stuff until they work out the kinks.
Oh no, being in the auto industry, I'm telling you, don't buy a first year car unless you're willing to accept what could come with it. Here's the thing. When they come up with a new body style, new model, that first year might have options on it that they delete after that year. So you might get a few extra bells and whistles that are kind of neat, but then you don't see that afterwards. You might be able to buy the parts at the dealer and add them to a later one. That's about the only upside. Now, that's not to say I've never gotten a car when there's been if I need a new vehicle and it looks kind of neat and innovative or whatever, I might get it. But I know that that's something that I could expect a problem with. I do want to ask a question, though, because I'm not a Glock guy. There was a comment made earlier about the myth that Glock has a lifetime warranty. So I want to tell you something a Glock guy told me once, and I want, if you guys can verify if this is true or false. There are no Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 Glocks in existence because when you buy a Glock, when they come up with a newer generation of that particular model, if you mail them back your older Glock, they will convert it to the most current one. Therefore, there are none in existence. Is that true or false?
False if it's never been sent back.
No, for as long as you have that Glock, if they update it, if say you've got a Gen 2 Glock 19 and they're on Gen 5, if you mail it to Glock, they will convert it to a Gen 5. Therefore, there are no Gen 2s.
Are they going to give you a new lower frame? Because you're not going to have the Picatinny rail on, or the accessory rail on the Gen 2s.
See, and with me not being a Glock guy, I'm like, okay, sure. That just doesn't sound plausible to me.
If they can, they might update to the newer dual recoil spring setup on it, and possibly. I mean, even like your Gen 4s have the adjustable back straps and stuff.
Does a Gen 1 barrel fit in a Gen 4 or 5 frame?
See,
Well,
Like,
okay, more importantly,
don't know.
hold on, because I have a Glock. The serial number is embedded into the frame.
Mm-hmm.
The frame is the handgun,
It's true.
so
Yeah.
they can't give you a different frame.
Well, unless they could
no,
custom make
not a different frame, but they're gonna update it to
internals.
free of charge,
From
totally
like the
free of
one
charge
pin
for
to
the rest
the
of your
two
life.
The new parts aren't backwards compatible into the old frames
I didn't
always,
think
though. It
Yeah, I
depends
mean,
on if
the
it's
Gen 5's had a
210
lot
or
of changes
And me
inside.
not being a Glock guy, but hearing things
Yeah.
like some of the, you can't make your Gen this fit in your Gen that and stuff. That's another reason I don't like Glocks. It's like, really, guys?
Think about it like
That's
this,
with any
Squib.
firearm. That's
Think
with
about it
any
like this,
firearm.
Squib. Some of the Glocks are like a 6-bolt hub, and some of the Glocks are like an 8-bolt hub.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you.
Could you
When
make
you look at aftermarket
modify it?
accessories, when you look at aftermarket accessories, do they specify the different generations?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they'd have to, because there's going to be parts that you either don't need or don't have. Because, I mean, even on the Gen 5s, they changed. You don't notice it cosmetically, but there was a lot of part changes that happened under the hood. When you read Glock's literature on the Gen 5s, the new Gen 5s that are out, there's quite a few things that changed in the trigger. Obviously, the cosmetically, the outside, a few of the designs changed. What's that?
Sounds like a clear case of gender confusion.
Gender confusion. Yeah, very confusing.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, they do specify the parts. They'll say this is a spring for a Gen 3 or Gen 4 or Gen 2 and so on. But I mean, you could. I don't know if you could send your Gen 2 in for repair and they wouldn't have the parts available. I doubt that would happen. I'm sure out there in the aftermarket you can find whatever you need for replacement parts on any generation of Glock.
I don't know.
But
You have to think of how many Gen 1, Gen 2 Glocks
Yeah.
are sitting out there.
you got a Gen 1 G17. I mean, can you still get parts for it if you need it? Is there stuff that's not out there that
Can you get a new trigger? Probably not, because it's all triggers out there are probably 2-pin triggers now.
I'm sure there's somebody that caters to every market for when it comes to accessories. You'd like to think so, but how do we even get on this topic anyway?
It comes back to economies of scale. If you need to do all the R&D for 5 triggers, those triggers are going to be so expensive to recoup company's cost.
Yeah.
It's R&D. It's the profit's not there because no one's going to want a $400 or $500 trigger for their Glock.
I don't want to say something. You guys that have the PT-111s and the G2C Tauruses, there are now aftermarket triggers that are out there, because that was one of the big complaints about the G2C and the PT-111 Tauruses is the half-inch of dead travel before you even hit the wall, because it has the reset's not long, but it's got a long pull, but half the pull has no resistance on it. But I guess they've got new aftermarket triggers for those too. I don't know if Apex is putting one out, but I'm interested in picking up a G2C just to test out an aftermarket trigger on it, because I fired the heck out of my PT-111 when I owned it. Well, I've had several. I've had 3 of them, but never had issues with those, so I could recommend those. Gary, you got a PT-111, don't you, or a G2C?
Yeah, I got a PT-111. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Good gun.
All right. By the way, did we finish the topic of striker versus hammer fired? I guess we kind of went through.
I really don't think we did.
I guess it's, again, just
3
follow
hours
Bruce's
ago.
advice, personal preference, whatever shoots the best for you. For somebody trying to learn on a Beretta 92 versus a Glock, it's going to be 2 different experiences, different lengths of pull, especially if you use the decocker and you got to do a full, pull on double action. I guess it's just advantages. I mean, they're both going to buy from a reputable brand, buy something that's got a good track record. When you first get it, run the heck out of it. So if you have any issues, you can take care of it before you maybe start carrying it.
And talk to someone that already has experience with firearms. Don't, if someone's just straight striker fire and that's all they've had, talk to them about striker fired, but don't talk to them about hammer fired.
And if you really don't,
else.
call a gunsmith and just say, "Can I talk to you for a little bit?" Just say, "What do you run into for repairs? What kind of problems do you see?" Just like I've got a close friend who's a mechanic, I would go for him for advice on what used pickup truck to buy, because he's dealt with it firsthand, being a mechanic of 25 years. He sees the brands that come in the most and the common problems that every model has. He was been very upfront and honest with me about. I would go find a good gunsmith and say, "Hey, repairs that you've had to do for people, is there some common problem?" Well, yeah, well, this gun has this spring that breaks, or this gun has this frame issue, or now if they work for a store, they might try to steer you into a new gun. You might get a biased opinion, but I would ask around a little bit. I would not ask at the gun counter of a say a big box gun store hey, which one's the most reliable? Well, this one's got the lifetime warranty. Oh yeah, you gotta educate yourself more on it before you go buy that gun, just a little bit,
But going to a big box store that has, let's say they have, let's say you go to a Cabela or something, and they have 30 different 9mm. Go up to this, go at a slow time for them and say, okay, I want to be able to feel these guns and understand the manual of arms and stuff like that, and get them in your hand, see what it takes to fire them, see if you want or have a desire to learn how to operate them first.
Yeah.
And then go to a gun range that rents guns. Most of them do rent. You rent a caliber. So you're like, I want to rent a 9mm for an hour. Well, if you put 3 rounds down a gun, you could trade out for another 9mm. And then you put 500 rounds to that gun. That's fine. Trade it, and then you can trade out for another 9mm. Go out and shoot them. I mean, any new person into the industry or the hobby, whatever you call it, I would always say 9mm first because it's the cheapest and it's lower recoil.
I want to address Eddie Van Halen's comment. He goes, $200 gun and then start putting aftermarket triggers and parts in it. No thanks, just buy a better gun. Well, it's cheaper for me to buy a $30 stainless steel guide rod than to go buy another gun. I mean, I put $100 night sights on my PT-111. People said, why? Because I wanted Trigicon night sights on it. So, I mean, I see where he's coming from, that you're going to spend more money on it than you did for the initial investment. But a lot of guys and gals just start putting those aftermarket parts on because they're curious about it. They maybe want the gun to function a little bit better. You've already invested the money in the gun, so yeah.
Back before I was into guns, I was into motorcycles, and I had 06 Yamaha V-Star. I paid $8,800 for it, and within 2 years, I spent $9,000 on upgrades. So, what's the difference between buying a gun and making it yours versus buying something else and making it yours? It's yours. Do what you want to do with it. If you want a Glock and you want the X-coated barrel or this trigger or this, do it. That's fine.
Well, something else people don't get in their head is the guns that are at the counter at your gun shop are all compromises to appeal to the broadest audience possible.
Yeah.
Right. They're looking to sell the most inexpensive version of that gun to get volume out the door. I'm not saying that you're going to go down there and you're not going to see $1,000 guns or whatever, but I'm just saying if you want the special order that I'm not, and some of them do have editions made for their big box brand, but I'm just saying that they're trying to they're looking at volume. They're not looking at if you got quirky tastes, it may not be the thing for you. But then again, if you go down there and you can get a good sale price on it, as far as stripping it down and building it back up or buying it out of the box the way you want, I'm for both. When somebody buys a Glock and they brag about Glock perfection and they change everything on the gun except the frame, I'm there going, where was the perfection, dude? And when somebody buys an AR-15 out of the box and then they start changing out parts because they want something cool or different or they don't like this or don't like that, I'm like, you should have just assembled it. Right. You would have got the same result probably for less money and had more fun doing it. But when you go to buy a $200 piece of crap gun and you're poo-pooing a $700 gun that doesn't need anything done to it and it works great, dude, you should have saved up your money and got the $700 gun. So both perspectives, depending on what you're doing and how you like to shoot or what features you like, will work. It just depends on who you are. I mean, I've got a 21-year-old motorcycle that I like, and I bought it fairly inexpensively, and the resale value keeps going down, and I have sunk money into it, not $9,000, but I have sunk money into it in repairs and accessories. But it's getting to the point where repairing it is becoming such a pain in the ass that I can't ride it, that I'm thinking about just dumping the thing and buying a brand new fuel-injected bike and just eating the payment, just so I've got a bike that starts every morning and I can drive it for, hopefully the next 5 years or so without having to sink any money into it just to be able to ride it, let alone, You know, so I mean, there's just different. What are you? Do you have more time than you have more money? Are you really into this sort of thing? You know, do you have a really unique taste? I mean, there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah. You know, and honestly, I do a lot of what I do for the channel. I mean, I want to see how that guide rod functions because I want to show the world what this thing does. You know, does it mess up the gun? Does it not? I mean, if I didn't have the channel, I'd probably have a little bit less variety in the stuff that I buy and the stuff I test. But part of it is I'm curious about this stuff too, and I want to just show it off. You know, I mean, that's part of what I do. You know, as a content creator. But yeah,
you start looking at. Go ahead. Sorry.
You know what upgrades I did to my SD?
Yeah.
I put bullets in it.
Well, that's the way. Like, I'm not much on go buy a gun and tear it completely apart and turn it into something different. You know, if you're going to do that, go buy that gun first. But I also do understand tweaking it for, custom. You know, if you want to change the trigger, that's fine. But if you change the trigger, the foregrip, the stock, the sights, the followers, and I mean everything in it, then what did you buy in the first place? You should have just built it from the ground up.
Can I share? I want to share something real quick, guys. I want to share something here. Go ahead.
No. Also, let's say you do take and let's say you buy a Glock or you buy an AR and you change everything in it. Buy an extra low receiver, buy a polymer 80, and have a separate gun.
I got it, guys. I got to do a shameless self plug here, real quick. We're about finished, but I got a super fan out there. Not a super chat, but a super fan. So this is Daryl Pulaski. Here we go. Look at that.
That's not a fan. That's a stalker.
I got the Kel-Tec P11 and the trap. I'm not named after P11.
They'll be coming to a neighborhood near you, Travis. They'll be coming to a neighborhood near you.
Got the stiletto over there on the side. I did not, just for the record, I did not choose Travis P11 because I'm a fan of the Kel-Tec P11. I didn't even know what the P11 was when I first created a YouTube channel 7 years ago. It's because there were 10 Travis Ps before me, and I just took Travis P11 because it was.
Seriously?
I tried to just get Travis, and that was already taken. Somebody already has the Travis channel, which is not cool. So I thought, let's try Travis P.
You and Bowling used the same technique to pick your screen name. Oh my goodness!
I just went with the next.
So the GPS tracker on your vehicle, just ignore that.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Ask Stan if there's any suspicious cars in his parking lot every single day, like they're waiting for you.
Okay.
Look,
yeah, if somebody wants an autograph and they show up on my door, we got some problems. So yeah.
I have your address. I'll be there tomorrow.
Obviously not stable individual. I can say that. But back to what we was talking about.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back now.
I'm of the school that if you're in a position to buy your first firearm and you don't have one, if you can save up your money to buy a Hi Point, buy it. Then continue to save your money to upgrade to a better gun when you can. Please have the first gun as quickly as possible.
Make sure it's reliable. Yeah, I would rather have someone carrying around a Star Model BM, a Tokarev, something like that than a Sky. The ammo may be harder to find or whatever, but the gun has to work.
By the way, I'm done talking.
Yeah, if you've saved up enough money for a Hi Point, you've darn near got enough money for a lot nicer gun. I'll throw in the extra $20.
What kind of gun does Stalker P11 have?
By the way,
a Taurus P11.
My super fan bought that gun just for that meme.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
I feel like I owe this person like a rebate or something. So yeah.
What is not pictured is the candles around it,
and the rope,
Yeah. the picture on the wall with like the bullseye or the darts that get thrown at it, and
the rag and the bottle of ether.
With the eyelets made into the concrete to hook.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. No, I love it. I absolutely love it. That's so cool.
We're friends whenever we start doing shit like that.
I mean, I can't talk. I buy the Travis P11 t-shirts for the family, so it's not like, I can't really say anything, Available on Spreadshirt, by the way. Get over on Spreadshirt.
Ghibli, if he has the Poco Ghibli action figures now.
I'm just as Poco Ghibli. I can't talk. I'm a Poco Ghibli total super fan too myself, so I'm all about Poco Ghibli. So
What the hell?
Wait.
Poco
Whose
Ghibli?
Ghiblis do you poke?
okay, so Tony, here's the deal. Many years ago, we had a little Japanese cartoon anime chat on Matt's podcast, and they were talking about Studio Ghibli. I think it's Studio Ghibli, Studio Ghibli. And we were talking about this studio making these awesome cartoons, right? And G-Web's chimed in. He goes, the hell are you guys talking about this Poco Ghibli stuff anyway? Why are we even talking Poco Ghibli? And we're like, no, we started laughing because it was studio. So Poco Ghibli just took off. It's funny. It sounds good. So we just put it on t-shirts. So that's where the whole Poco Ghibli thing comes from. It was just kind of making fun of G-Webs, who mispronounced the name of the studio that makes the anime cartoons, the Japanese cartoons. So I'm sure I'm going to get corrected on the name of it. I don't watch enough anime to really know of that type.
You.
But
Thank you. I appreciate the illuminations. I just thought,
yeah.
I don't know what the heck these idiots are going on about.
G-Webs made a new t-shirt that had some like Japanese cartoon characters, some anime characters on it, and in Chinese it says Poco Ghibli on the new Poco Ghibli t-shirt, and he took my head and Night Strike's head, put it on top of the characters, and that's the new Poco Ghibli t-shirt. I put a picture of it over on Instagram, but I'm not wearing it because it's up in the laundry right now.
Wait. So G-Webs decapitated both you and Night Strike for a t-shirt.
Yeah. And here, this is really bad. Check. Never
we can't see it. Our images are there. You have to.
All right, I'll stand up. Oh, there we go.
Oh no,
Porky Piggin.
Never enough.
Obviously, never enough bacon.
I didn't get an autograph from Matt when I was at Tulsa, though. Unfortunately, so
the middle Travi said a guy named Travis P12.
Middle Travis.
Midnight Range.
Oh, I said I'm trying to figure out which one of my children that is. Okay, that's MRTM.
Food Travis.
Yeah,
Food
Travis.
Food
Okay,
Travis,
not Travis
said
Cube.
A guy named Travis P12 knocked on Travis P11's door and told his wife that a new upgraded. What? Travis told his wife that he's the new upgrade. Travi is home. So
it's like 007. There's Agent 008, Agent 006. There's Travis P11, Travis P12. Yeah. I'm sure there's. I'm gonna check YouTube real quick and see if there's a Travis P12 channel. I am really curious.
And then to go off the rails,
start stalking him.
I just said there's just a Travis train. Travis P11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
There's a Travis Day, but there's no Travis P. I should get Travis P12 out there and move on.
The poor conservative says Travis Plevin. Trevor for short. Okay.
All right, enough playing off my name. So, guys, all right, we're going to go and wrap it up. We've been going a solid 3 hours right now, and I'm getting hungry. So I think we're going to go ahead and call this one.
My butt is telling me I've been sitting here for 3 hours. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Been watching Rick too much.
Yeah, that's Rick's criteria for ending the show. Well, I'd like to have a bologna sandwich now, so y'all got to go.
You got to feed the cats.
Yep. Travis P12 is the Gen 2, Travis P11. Probably. I'm the original design. So Travis needs a beard.
No.
Maybe at this point. But
Travis P12 is the Mod 2.
Mod 2. That's the version that's got the grip zone on it.
Travis with the grip zone.
Travis P12's got the grip zone.
Travis P12 has written where her hand needs to go.
Oh my god! Travis P11 is the original import, and Travis P12 is the one that's been repackaged by Springfield. So, all right, guys. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. So let's just see who's going. We had a pretty good chat going on over on the gun channel side. So joining over there, we had David over there, paper plane crash. Mission accomplished. Yeah, paper plane crash. You got me, bro. I'll tell you what. Patrick is over there also on the gun channel side. I know more people are checking it out. YouTube side, again, man, we got a ton of people watching us. Gizzard Gary here, there. Tacos and French fries. Frank Hellman out there. 2 Sky owners, thumb down. No, those are my 2 buddies that thumb down all my videos consistently. I'm used to it. Grinderson, Jorge Cortez with us. Rick's Life as I See It is out there. Hey, I'm listening. LOL. Rob D in the house. Guitar Man Pete. Swee778. Stephen Dawkins out there. Jesse B Outdoors. Jumpy Killer. Vandalistica Vlogs. I'm a Glocktard. That's the person's screen name is joining us. Never enough bromance, he
brilliant.
says.
That's brilliant.
Eddie Van Halen, at least the person's not afraid to admit it. AC97, RCWCK in the house. Jason Stewart out there. I know SS Pond was with us also, so Stan was with us today. The poor conservative in the house, Squibbleoed out there, and here AC97, Drucifer. I'm sure I'm going to miss a few people. I apologize if I don't call you off. But anyway, thanks for joining us today, guys. This has been Caliber Corner episode number 77. Should have an episode 78 next week. We'll get that bullpup discussion going on next week. I wanted to do it this week, but decided not to because we had a lot of other stuff to talk about. I wanted to get some SHOT Show stuff out there. So anyway, first of all, I want everybody who's watching this to go out there and subscribe to anybody that's on this panel. Get out there, check out their channels. I want you guys to go over to guntube.org. You can support guntube.org over on Patreon. That is our nice, independent, Pro 2A social media video hosting website that Night Strike has founded, created for us to put our material over there. Yes, it does live streaming. And, of course, it takes Glock mags. And then also make sure you guys support Gunstreamer, support gunchannels.com, gearwebsites.com. Let's go ahead and leave with some closing arguments. So, Foos, anything you want to say before we go?
Buy ammo from me, please.
Buy ammo from SA. Which is SSA Sports Shooters Ammunition over on Facebook. Buy it.
Yep. It is good shit. I know I keep trying to pimp my own stuff, but the thing is I need to sell 45,000 rounds a year just to break even. If I could sell that, it'll go for another year. If not, I don't know. Let's see. So,
I'm expecting you to get that the what we talked about for your T-shirts with the slogans. I'm expecting to see some T-shirts popping up here at some point. We can buy. Get something up over on Spreadshirt.
The rolled in Arkansas.
No, the other blue pill.
So I'm looking at jerseys for my shooting, and I want to put the other blue pill on a shirt as part of my ammo.
Yes.
But, yeah.
All right. So make sure you get over to SA and buy your ammo, or SSA, depending on what you want to do, what your philosophy is on acronyms. But all right, man. So Foos, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it. All right, Gizzard Gary, you want to say anything before we go?
The only thing I can add to what I said before is give him the bird.
I was waiting for it. Make sure you get over there and subscribe to Gizzard Gary's channel and check him out. David Bowling, the Kingpin. Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Travis P11. Check out, Gunstreamer, GunTube, Gun Channels, and
awesome.
Check out Rick's Life as I See It, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Cool.
Today.
So the poor conservative just had another slogan for me. Don't be a puss. Buy from Foos. Or Fuss.
You got to put the umlaut over the U on the P word, and then put it over the U on Foos, and therefore it'll kind of be a spy from Foos. Awesome. All right, man. Sandhill Shooter in the house. What's going on, my Nebraska brother? What do you think, man? Anything before we go?
Yeah, if I can get unmuted.
All right, man.
Yeah, check me out on YouTube. Check me out on Facebook as well. I do have a Patreon channel. I just don't talk about it much. I actually have Spreadshirt too under Sandhill Shooter, but I don't talk about that much either. So you can go check us out over there. Be sure and tune in this week, 9 o'clock Central, for 2A Tuesday. If you want to know what night that is, I can't help you.
Make sure you call your family members. I want everybody to sit around the dinner table and watch the episode Tuesday night. And call your in-laws, call your exes. We're gonna host this as like a fireside chat. We're gonna host it round table. We're gonna put out a nice quality. Well, you're gonna put out a nice quality program that's gonna be family friendly.
And just one last time, if you or someone you know actually does have a viewpoint that is not entirely 100% pro-life, unwavering, then reach out to me either on Facebook or at sandhillshooter@gmail.com and let me know, because I'm looking to have a couple people in the panel who are willing to, and I don't want to say go toe to toe, but are willing to actually come to the table and sit down and have this talk.
Yeah, you will have an opportunity to speak your piece without interruption, without being berated, without the name calling, because Sandhills is going to keep it in check. The idea is to have a productive discussion, not a freaking screaming match, which is what every debate turns into on the media, which is why I don't watch them.
Right.
Cool, man.
discussion. Make go in with rules. Don't overtalk people. If you do, you as a moderator can mute people.
Yeah,
just done. Because full thoughts and ideas need to come out and be spoken before contradictory arguments. Don't let people yell over each other.
Are you going to enjoy Yankee Marshall? They're wondering out in the chat.
Am I what?
You going to invite Yankee Marshall to join you?
You know what? If anybody knows Yankee, then go ahead. Let him know he's always welcome.
Okay.
He doesn't know who I am.
But he has to play by the same rules.
Yeah.
If not,
everybody who's a guest in my chat will abide by the same house rules. That's just a given. If you can't abide by the rules, that's fine. Don't join.
Cool. 200 will join, only 5 will make it to the end of the chat. No, Frank, he's not going to let that happen. The idea is to have a good, productive talk that's not going to turn into a scream match. I know Sandhills, he'll keep you in check, bro. I'm just going to say that right now. That's his.
Will also apply for the side chat over in YouTube as well. It's not just for the panel. The same rules go for the people in YouTube land that are chatting on the side. The moderators will throw you out if you have bad language or you're being disrespectful and attacking people. You can be opinionated, that's fine, but you will not attack people and you won't be dropping bad language. That's all.
And the thing to say on top of that is if you're coming over to join on Travis P11, Clover, or Sandhills show, that means that you are friendly, at least at the minimum friendly with. So if Sandhills says, hey, I want to keep it classy, then have enough respect for your friend to keep it classy.
Also, Cam94 out in the chat is like, what is he debating about? So you may want to reiterate what we're talking about in case people are newer, and weren't there.
Somebody joining in the chat late.
Yep. So
Sandals, what's your topic on Tuesday?
Pro-life or pro-choice?
I muted myself again. Yeah, if you weren't here when I came in, and I came in late too, but yeah, we're going to actually talk about abortion. It's not going to be a gun topic this week, but we're going to cover some of the messy stuff too from week to week. And so the abortion discussion is going to happen. And Squib has already promised me that no matter how much we go off on each other, we're still going to be friends at the end of the night. So, or maybe by the next day.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I've kind of got Foose's philosophy on that sort of thing.
Here's what I'm looking forward to. It's going to be refreshing for once to see grown-ups having a productive dialogue and sharing their opinions and learning from one another. I can't imagine what this is going to be like because we are so unconditioned to this kind of discussion. Now we are in our chats and podcasts. We're very civil. I think we do a good job with each other, but out in society, out in the media, you don't get that. It turns into a scream match. It'll be so cool to actually experience that. People, bring your kids. I'm sure it'll be nice. It'll be nice to not have it turn into a scream and not have a headache when you get done with something. Wouldn't that be refreshing for once as human beings?
That's going to be the goal anyway. We'll see how much we can get done. But bring your opinions, but also bring facts. Anybody who wants to be in the discussion, and like I said, I'm looking for people to join the panel. And I've already got one who reached out through Facebook. And I don't know this gentleman, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and let him in the panel because he said he's got some opinions that aren't 100% pro-life. But he said he's been thinking about it a lot lately. So that's all I want. Somebody, you don't have to believe what I do. I just want people who know what they believe and why.
So I'll go ahead and step in as well. I have no problem.
Okay, Squib, anything before we go, bro?
Monday night around 10-ish on the Hawaii Volcano Squad channel. We'll be doing lock and load, so tune in for that. And Ellis will quark us, and it's all good.
10-ish. What time zone for 10-ish? Are we talking Central? Or are we talking Eastern?
Dude,
or what?
Everything's Eastern. Everything's Eastern.
No. Civilization Central. We're in the middle of the.
Yeah, everything revolves around us. That's right. So HVS is like 100 hours behind everybody because he's in Hawaii, and they don't observe daylight savings time. So the time that the show comes on varies back and forth.
Okay.
And then last week we started early because of my work schedule, and I ended up getting a whole bunch of background noise anyhow. So we don't really have as much of a set time. That's why I say 10-ish. So if you've got the notification bell, if you're subscribed, you got the notification bell, your phone or your computer will tell you, hey, we're on. A lot more people go back and watch later because, Matt's still doing his thing. Ellis comes on. The Daily Gun Show comes on. And, we're not the most popular show, but that's fine. We have fun. We have a lot of fun doing the show. So.
And real quick, beware, like as you're going through and hanging out on YouTube or whatever. Ghost Tactical, my bell was unrung, so and YouTube will not let me re-hit the notification bell on his channel. There's somebody else, and then there's Roll Call 219, and those are channels that I watch all the time, and it keeps coming up error 404. So I go to a different channel and sub to somebody new, or go to a different channel and turn off their bell, and it turns right back on. So just keep an eye on your subscription list. Make sure you're still subscribed to your favorite channels. Make sure the bell is still there.
Okay. All right. And Tony, any closing words, man, before we go?
Well, first off,
30 minutes later.
shout out to Ricky Joe out there.
Yeah, it's been a 20-minute wind down. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to make it to Sandhills chat, and I wouldn't last very long anyway due to the language restrictions. I'll give you my opinion now. You stop a beating heart and you've just killed something.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, go see my page on Facebook. I put up a nice video last night from President Reagan, something that he had been saying about abortion back in the 80s. So go see what President Reagan had to say. I can't think of a better way to say it than what he did.
Well,
all right,
I, for one, was alive then. Actually, a live adult.
Yeah, there you go.
What's that?
I said I was alive then, and actually a live adult.
Man.
Yeah, I was
what that was like.
But I'm glad that due to the miracles of modern technology, I can go back and see some of the cool stuff. I know Reagan didn't only say good stuff, but some of the cool stuff that he did say.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Again, Caliber Corner episode number 77. We went a good solid 3 hours. So make sure you go back and watch this if you didn't get a chance to. Like and subscribe. Check it out. Check out my channel. And again, I'm on Gunstreamer, UGEtube, guntube.org, gun channels, all over the place. Hopefully next Saturday we'll have an episode for you, episode number 78. I'll post the topics this week. We hope to see everybody back next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with us for a couple hours, guys. I appreciate it. Guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe, and we will talk to you soon.
If you pee in Felicia's fridge, she'll give you the bird.
Yes, you will get. And on that note, adios, Felicia. Te amo.
Good day, everybody.
Bye, ammo.